All right. Who's ready for some Shadowrun 6th edition? 6th World Edition, I guess it's being called.
Me.
I just call it 6th edition because I don't like calling it 6th World Edition.
Because aren't they all 6th World Edition?
I mean, come on, really.
Yeah, everybody's just going to abbreviate down to 6th or 6E or something.
All right. Let's, I feel like I had, I don't have it right now. Everything is messed up, everyone, because I redid my entire office, and somehow you'd think like the computer, it's in a box, and it's not like when I reorganize the office that shouldn't affect anything inside the computer, but somehow everything is messed up.
Interesting.
Everything. So I won't have the cool intro stinger that's super loud. So maybe you guys will like that. What books are you playing with? Says Alanis, a cyborg. We're playing with the Shadowrun 6th edition core rulebook, yet to be released until Gen Con. So.
But we've got.
Sorry, I said
next
that.
week.
I said that with some attitude. Like I guess I am bragging a little bit, but that wasn't my intent.
Waiting for Bobby to hair flip right now.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet.
We're like a week away from other people, like consumers, getting their hands on copies they can buy with money. Well, for the
So ready.
beginner box set, if all goes well, at least with all the shipping and things, getting
Yep.
things to where they need to be in Ohio and all that.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about the beginner box.
Yep, that's gonna be there, and it's got the trimmed down quick start rules in there, which are pretty good. It grabs all the main features, and puts them in your face. The intro video that I did on YouTube for the announcement of 6th edition, the sort of overview of the system and the changes, that whole video was informed only by the quick start rules, for example.
And Daryl Mott with the Gamers Tavern has a nice unboxing video because they sent him a physical copy.
Yep, and he did a video on that, so that was cool. And but now we're playing right now with the full version of the rules, and those are not going to be released until Gen Con. So if you were wanting to see how it all plays, you're in the right place. And if you know anybody else who would like to be able to see how this stuff is going to play out, you should let them know to come join us.
Merciless Ming asks, when is the beginner box supposed to be available post Origins? Do we know that information? I don't think I do.
No, usually, we don't know that information is the short answer. The slightly longer answer is, I don't think Catalyst really does either. I know Jason Hardy has said to us that he doesn't know precisely. They're shooting for, sometime after Origins and sometime in June, but I don't think they really usually know when the PDFs are going to be available to purchase until like right when they're available, because they pretty much, as soon as they can, they make them available, and then the physical copies for sale after that, I have no idea. So, but if you're going to Origins, they'll have some for sale there.
Me.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out at the Catalyst booth for a while, so come say hi.
Or, guess what? Here's a good segue. If you guys would like to win yourself a copy of the beginner box set, then you can. We are in the middle, the Shadowcasters Network are in the middle of our summer fundraiser for 2019. Our entire network is 100%, well, I guess maybe like 95 or 90% funded by the generous support of our viewers and our fans and everything. And every year we have a fundraiser that helps us kind of make up the difference for what we're going to need to keep going for another year, and that's what we're in the middle of doing. Our goal for the summer to keep going is $4,000. We're almost halfway there already, and it's going to be going until June 23rd, so you've got plenty of opportunity to do that. One of the things that we do every year is a raffle. We sell, let me find a link for you, and I can drop that. But every year we do a raffle, and we there are perks, things you can get for helping us out, and there's a link right there in the chat room. For $5 you can buy a raffle ticket. We call them karma points, and what it is, you know how a raffle works. However many raffle tickets you buy, your name gets put into a hat that many times, and we are going to draw people's names to win prizes. And so if you've got 15, $20 lying around, you want to help us out, you can get a couple of raffle tickets. The more times your name is in, the better chances you have of winning. And one of the things you can win, as I was insinuating, is a beginner box set for Shadowrun 6th edition. So if you're not going to be there, you can still win one. That has been donated to us, or ostensibly will be donated to us by a wonderful community member, Eric DeMage. I'm sure many of you know who he is. And he's going to be grabbing us one at Origins. He's going to be at Origins. So he's going to grab one for us, and we're going to be able to give that away. Some other Shadowrun-related stuff. I'm turning on my phone. I heard it ring just now. Sorry, I'm not. I'm here. The other thing that we're going to be giving away is a Shadowrun Sprawl Ops board game, which currently is only available to Kickstarter backers. We have again, Eric DeMage is donating one of those to us, and through the Kickstarter, it has a bunch of extra stuff that you won't be able to get even when it comes for sale. So get those raffle tickets and win some stuff. There's a bunch of other things you can get, including up to $100 worth of drive-through RPG coupons. We just recently found out that Gamelin Games is going to be sending us a bunch of physical stuff to give away. We don't know what that stuff is yet, so I can't really say, but they asked for an address to send us some stuff that we can give away to people. So there's a lot of things, character art that's being done by some artists in the community, and all sorts of stuff. Lots of PDFs, Shadowrun, Earth Dawn, PDFs, stuff like that. So, and you have a really great chance. You have incredible odds to win at least something. Our community is relatively small. We're not, it's not millions and millions of people. So the relative size of our community, you have really good odds of winning something, and pretty decent odds of winning those big items. So do that. I put the link up there. Help us out. On top of all of it, who here in the chat, you guys can't answer, like I can't get a cheer or anything, but or a show of hands, but you can say me in the chat. Who here is a fan of the Arcology podcast, and who here wants to get to hear all of some more extra campaign stuff from them?
Me.
Thank you. You're so good at this. Mr. Johnson has told me that he is willing to, if we can, this is a tall order, so you guys are going to have to work really hard to do it, because it's not going to be easy. He's not giving this up easily. He's willing to give, right now, Mr. Johnson, you have a campaign, a Shadowrun campaign. It's like a special campaign that's available only to patrons, right?
Yeah, there are several. I think, was it last year we released the Lone Star campaign after hitting a certain goal?
It wasn't even last year. It was the year before that. It was our first
one. 2 years ago. Okay. So, yeah, we have another campaign that we've done, which is Pirates in the Caribbean. Totally different flavor of things than the Disney version, because these are Shadowrun pirates
right.
in the Caribbean. And it's, I want to say, a couple dozen episodes. They're all at least, they're all like edited down full sessions, so a huge amount of content, game mastered by Hayes or Carlton, who is like pretty much right up there with Austin among my top 3 game masters of all time, and it's some of his best game mastering ever. I get to play Technomancer, who becomes captain of the pirate crew, and she's really fun to play. Went on some really fun journeys with Hannah, the pirate captain.
So the point is that right now you can only get access to that if you're a patron of the Arcology podcast. But Mr. Johnson has said that if we can get to our overall goal of $4,000 before June 21st, the start of our 36-hour streamathon, if we can get everything done right up to those last 36 hours of the streamathon so June 21st at 4 p.m., then he will make those available to everyone, to the public at large. That's not going to be easy, and you guys are going to have to work hard to do it. There's other things that you can get to if you're a fan of the Join the Anarchy. Then we just decided today that if by a week from tomorrow, which will be June 14th, if by June 14th we can hit the $2,500 mark, then we're going to finally, people have been begging for this for a long time, finally actually get a Join the Anarchy T-shirt on the on the store. But people have been wanting that for a long time. Everybody loves Join the Anarchy, so we'll do it if we can get to $2,500 before June 14th. Lots of stuff. We're really excited. It's really awesome that we've gotten as far as we are. We're at like $1,710 right now, and going up. So there's lots of cool things. I'll plug it again some more later and talk about some of the other perks you can get other than the raffle tickets. But I want to get into it. Sarah, I have heard of, I have had the opportunity to see some of the cool stuff that you've been working on recently, and I want to see if I can convince you to look at me acting like I'm going to be the one convincing you, or like we hadn't talked about this already. I want to see if I can. I want you to show everyone that's watching some of the cool stuff that you're doing with Rem Alterni's Productions. Tell everybody about that, and let's look at some cool stuff.
Yeah. So in July, on July 12th, we are launching our first Kickstarter to fund the Chicago Shadows trailer. We want to produce a series, but we're going to start with the trailer. And so we've released little tidbits so far leading up to the Kickstarter in terms of a cool new Chicago skyline from, well, they moved Chicago south, we'll just say. But so that was really cool. And we've released one bit of art, but we have not released this bit of art yet. But I was so excited that I asked Bobby if I could show it to you guys. So I'm going to share my screen.
Here, go ahead.
So I'm so excited. This is our hacker from our photo shoot, and she is crazy cool. Her hair lights up, her deck lights up, and she's a total badass. So I'm pretty excited, guys.
That's cyberpunk right there.
That's cyberpunk.
Yeah, I dig it. I really like it.
Yeah. So check out remalternies.com or facebook.com/remalternies productions and follow along because I can't wait to go live. I'm so excited, guys. This has been more than a dream come true so far. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Aaron Bursar says effing rad.
Yes.
I want those sunglasses. I don't care how ridiculous I would look.
Right?
They're so cool.
It looks like you just open up a film canister and wrap it around your head. Is that how it works?
I'm not sure where she got them. I need to ask though, because like everyone says how much they like them.
Yeah, they are cool looking.
Yeah, I thought I had wraparound shades, but.
All right. Let's.
Oh, now our background is dead.
What?
Black.
Let's see if I can.
Ruined it, guys. It's my fault.
Let's see if I can somehow fix it. That's weird, isn't it? Turn it off and then back on again, maybe. All right, I guess it's broken. It's okay. I'll see if I can fix it while we're getting. We want to get started. People are waiting for us to play some Shadowrun, so let's get going. Let me finish introductions real fast. My name's Bobby. I do stuff on YouTube, Complex Action. Look for it. Upcoming is a video about the Edge system, which you'll probably get a taste of here. And then below me we have Austin, the GM of Crit Squad. How's it going, Austin?
Going fantastic. I'm so excited to get back into this.
Yes. And of course, Mr. Johnson does the Arcology podcast. And he's also our GM. So, Mr. Johnson, take it away. Oh, I guess I should say that Opti is not able to make it tonight. So that's why we don't have him here, and he just has a placeholder face right there. So he's missed.
Yeah, I guess you all introduced yourselves, but why don't we just take a quick moment to introduce your character, and let's do a little bit of a recap. Because some people might be here for the first time, they might not have had a chance to catch up, and I think we can get everyone caught up pretty quickly here. So I always love to hear things from the player's perspective, so maybe Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character and something important that happened last session?
All right, so I am playing Dinan. She is an elf, and she is a stealth mage. So a ton of fun to play there. And let's see, last session, um, we found out that one of the Chicago briefcase nukes has survived, and might go off in the relatively near future. So we need to bail.
Good times.
All right, Austin, how about you? Tell us about Skipper and.
Yep. I am playing Skipper, the face rigger, driver of the team. Also been getting pretty good with the drones. I think the As Technology Crawler came in real clutch last session. Helped us fend off a couple rival Shadowrunners, clearing the way as we managed to finally get to our. Well, I guess Antipay did if we're not supposed to bring it back, isn't it?
Yeah, you run a data sabotage mission. And,
Yeah, that's the word.
Right.
And yeah, Bobby, why don't you take it away and tell us about Rooster?
I'm obligated by a fundraiser contract to wear these while I'm playing my character. So.
Oh, yes, right, the tusks.
Yeah. All right. My name is Rooster. I'm the weapons specialist orc. It hurts more this time. Former Firewatch team member, and yeah, things got a little hairy last time. Me and Jin, our decker, got locked down by a bunch of devil rats. And they really beat us up. But we managed to get out of there, and we managed to take care of business. We got things taken care of, and it looked like there might have been somebody with some sort of a nuke somewhere, and we couldn't track them down. But we're getting the hell out of Dodge, and we're gonna get our payday.
Yeah, so I'll give the overall fill in the blanks here. You were all hired to go into Chicago by a fixer by the name of Big Dave, and he contracted you to go to a place well within the nasty part of town, the Noose, and go to a place called Garland Medical, which was an old medical clinic, and destroy any computer or paperwork evidence that might be able to prove who owned the place before the Matrix crash. So you went to go do that. Had some trouble with gang members in the way. Your truck got shot up. You stopped off somewhere and got it fixed, and then got into Chicago, into the containment zone, and went to your objective. Let's see. You were attacked by rats. That was scary. It seemed like you discovered that there were a bunch of gang members using Garland Medical Clinic as their HQ, and there were a bunch of cybered up racist dudes. Humanus, I believe they're called the Superhumans, and they all had like funky arms with some sort of weird attachment, like a gun or a claw or something. And you fought with some of them, but most of them ended up getting distracted through Jin's hacking to go back into the place to go check on another runner team that you had observed infiltrating the clinic as well while you were making your plans. So they fought. I think your team, Jin, ended up taking out the opposing team's hacker, and the remaining team members ended up going back to their van and driving away. You were going to track them, but decided it was going to be, the trail went cold. And let's see, you also managed to go into the building where there were no other gang members still hanging out inside there at the moment. Ran across this strange old doctor dude who apparently believes metahumans to be an infection. And probably did all the cyber technology work on those gang members. And you went in and got the job done, destroyed the evidence, and got out of there, leaving behind a room locked up with a bunch of people destined to be sold to the Yakuza by the Superhumans. You had that information because I believe Jin managed to pull it off of one of the Superhumans' comlinks earlier on in the fight. So I think when we last left off, you were hearing the sounds of some of the Superhumans that weren't involved in the fight returning to their base to find it a mess. And You're all kind of a mess, but not directly in the line of fire. And I think your plan was to drive away casually.
Well, fast casual.
Did I leave anything important out?
We did make it to the location where the dwarf sent us the transmission from, and Rooster checked the trail there, and it had gone cold.
Oh, yes, right. The reason why you know about that suitcase nuke was you all started getting this weird transmission from someone's cyber eyes. And that was a dwarf who had apparently tried to swipe or do something with this suitcase nuke. And you got video of some people, and some names were dropped. The leader happened to be Canyon. The guy who was transmitting from the eyes sounded like his name was Dannon, and he was executed. And that's how it ended the feed. And you heard the sound of the gunshot. It took Dannon a few minutes to find the spot where the deed was done, but the perpetrators were long gone by that point. I think that's everything.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
You all are. Sorry, were you going to say something, Bobby?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. I like to, and I forgot about this until someone in the chat room, stainless steel something, asked, now that it's a few sessions in and you guys are more familiar with 6th edition, is there anything rules-wise you guys have noticed later that you implemented incorrectly in the moment? Sometimes we do that, and there's a couple of things that I think we have, but I think more importantly, there are a couple of things, one or two things we find that are either in need of being errated or just misinterpreted or something like that. And we fortunately have some people that we know who listen that know better and tell us after the fact. And one of those things last session was we saw how, from my character using them, how deadly and dangerous grenades are in 6th edition. Grenades are intensely dangerous. I didn't realize that there was this discrepancy until you pointed it out in a chat we had offline, Mr. Johnson. But didn't you say like a Panther cannon is 7 physical, but there's a
grenade could be 16 if you're at ground zero. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
almost twice as, more than twice as deadly.
Almost 3 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2.5 times, I guess.
Yeah, more than twice as deadly as a Panther cannon shot to the chest.
Well, to be fair, you can stage the Panther cannon damage up with a called shot and like extra
Right.
hits and stuff. But yeah, still getting up to 16. That's a
tall order.
Right. So we did find out that it turns out that that's probably, most certainly a mistake with the reusing some old old values for damage because in general everything in 6th edition Shadowrun does a little bit less damage, so I think that they just forgot to stage those ones down. We were told that those need to be looked at, and we were told that it's while the person we were talking to can't say 100%, but it's almost certainly needing to be relooked at the fact that every first aid or medical anything, med kits especially, require the biotech skill, which is not defaultable. It turns out that probably you are supposed to be able to use the rating of the med kit somehow in place of a biotech skill, like it sort of works in 5th edition, but it doesn't say that at all in 6th edition. So wanted to clear that up for everybody. That's all.
Yeah, and the real Kyoto Kid asked about Chunky Salsa, which is no longer a product served up by Shadowrun.
Gotta say, I've had my fun with some chunky salsa.
I have to say that I'm not gonna miss it. Come on.
That's true. That's fair.
I won't miss it. It's a funny kind of joking thing,
Yeah,
but it's like it almost never comes into play. And just about any time I've seen it used, it shouldn't have been, because the explosion should have destroyed the walls and carried out through the walls.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
like doing chunky salsa properly is kind of like, your geometry and calculus final exam.
It also It also seems to deny the existence of like the ground.
Right.
Otherwise, there would be chunky salsa all the time because the ground
Right.
is there. Why?
Yeah.
Why are other surfaces? Never mind. Sorry, I don't miss chunky salsa one
Right.
bit.
Right. Good riddance. All right. Anyway, I will miss drawing chunky salsa on my GM screen videos, but
Yeah, and you don't get sick of saying chunky salsa, right?
right. It's a funny joke. It was worth it for 5 editions, but
I think we'll still use the term when we describe the results of
Right.
a horrific death by explosion.
Oh yeah.
I hope no one decided tonight I'm going to play a drinking game for every time the Shadowcasters say chunky salsa.
yeah.
They'd be drunk.
Yeah. I do like chunky salsa as a status, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Could be blinded, paralyzed, chunky salsa.
Right. That would actually really fit the tone of the book and how it's written too, to have that note in there. But all right, moving on.
Yep.
It's late at night, very late at night. You are all in pretty rough shape, one way or another. Oh, maybe not Skipper so much. You're actually feeling pretty good as you're driving on out, thinking of this strange video file that you saw that was corroborated by Denen's astral scouting. All these injuries people took, just how fracking dangerous the goddamn rats are in this town. It's been quite a night. But
All that radioactive fallout from the bomb.
I'd like to not be here anymore.
Yeah. I'm gonna shift us into gear real quick here and head on towards the border so we can GTFO.
Yeah, get the frag out of here, Skipper.
the roads are pretty rough, and not all of them go through where they should, and some of them have like stuff blocking them, and there's nasty gang territories and whatnot. So just overall, to see how you do driving through Chicago, let's just call for a general driving test.
All right.
So ground vehicles, your pilot ground plus reaction.
Can I be a backseat driver and
Piloted.
teamwork?
It's not even pilot
7
ground
hits.
anymore. Oh yeah, with 7 hits, it's pretty smooth. You avoid some of the worst spots, and there's a few bumpy bits here and there, but overall, it's not too long before you find yourself onto fairly recently modern repaved roads as you're heading into some of the parts of Chicago that's farther away from that nasty glowing bit and into the more urban renewal, corporate revitalizing aspect of the city. And
Alright,
with that, you're pulling up to the Lone Star checkpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
you got
yeah.
through pretty easily. But going
I'm
out of
still-
Chicago is actually harder.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna be looking for people bringing in illicit weapons and stuff from what do they call it? The noose.
Yeah, illicit weapons, people, all kinds of stuff. They want to make sure bugs don't get out, or people infected with strange things don't get out. Ghouls, direct like that. There's all sorts of like going into Chicago. That's kind of your own business, but coming out of Chicago, that's everybody else's problem. So yeah, you see, there's a line of cars up there. They're moving on through a bit more slowly because the Lone Star officers are taking more time with each one. And yep, as you see, there's a car that's pulled up there, and the police officer is apparently ending the brief conversation by sticking his stun baton in through the window, then yanking the guy out, and then there's several other cops proceeding to beat them in front of the rest of the other people who are waiting.
Frag, I don't want to have to beat up any cops. What's your
Yeah.
what's your smuggling like, Skipper?
I don't know. Do I have any secret compartments in Dom? There wasn't anything listed in the book. It would make sense, but I don't think I do. Let's see. I've got a good enough sin to get me through here. If I remember right, though, someone got tagged on the way in.
I did, and I mean, to be fair, we're still both invisible, Rooster.
Mm.
I
Mm.
could drop it.
What's the astral security look like at a checkpoint? You're the expert, Danen, so
I do. Mr. Johnson, should I make a magical security roll, or? I do have that
Do you have
for
a
as well.
knowledge skill that would pertain to that?
I have a knowledge skill called magical security.
Okay, there you go. Then you're almost certain that they're going to have someone here observing the vehicles astrally because of the concern about nasty spirit things or ghouls and stuff coming out. So you think that an illusion spell would be more likely to draw attention than it would be to obscure you, because that would be purely very visible from astral space. They would see that you have a spell on you, and
They
if there's
would
somebody else going, I only see one person in there, and they corroborate, yeah, they're definitely going to know something's up.
However, they do have to, because of walls and stuff like that, they do have to like literally stick their heads in the van to see me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they might have someone who's projecting that will just pass through the vehicle and take a look, or they might have one of the police hanging out astrally perceiving. It's likely they'll have spirits they can have on call at a moment's notice to help deal with threats as well. So, yeah, this is not the easiest thing to sneak through.
I've noticed. Guys, it may be easier if I find my own way across the wall.
I don't like that idea of leaving you in here alone.
I don't either. Nope. However, I can summon some help, and I don't know. They're not gonna let us through. I mean, the other way, we could just try to bribe them.
Lone Star is very bribable. Alternatively, though, if you could summon, say, a spirit of air, would they be able to help you fly over a wall a little bit further away from here?
Yeah, and I can levitate too. So, like,
Oh, okay.
that's what I meant by my own way over.
If you're confident with that,
I don't like it, but
You didn't, with your knowledge of with magical security, you're almost certain that there will be astral patrols watching for people doing that. That said, there's definitely way too much wall for them to cover it all at all times.
Right.
So
We'd
that
have
might be an easier way to slip past, but it's not just an automatic thing either.
Right. We'd have to. I mean, you could drop me off a little ways away. I could find a good safe point to do it, get over, and then Uber to wherever we meet up.
yeah.
Is there Uber in?
Oh, sure. They're owned by Horizon, I'm something like that.
Yeah, I imagine it's kind of like the taxi cabs in, I think it's Total Recall.
Uber's a German word. It's probably owned by.
Oh yeah,
SK.
Soderkrupp. Yep, good point. Yeah, Uber. It's Lyft is Evo, not Horizon.
Yeah.
So, why don't you guys drop me off out of sight, and I'll figure it out.
Okay, well, comments if you need something. We can definitely make a distraction.
Okay. Hey, Jin, just keep an eye on my link in case I need you, okay?
Yeah, keep your comm line open. I don't like this at all.
Then Naz says, "Sure thing." He's an NPC at the moment. For those of you who might otherwise be wondering why I'm speaking for him.
All right. So,
Hey.
Yeah.
Danan.
Rooster.
You gotta.
Skipper.
You
I
have.
thought we were playing a game where we were saying each other's names.
You got a piece on you?
A piece of what?
A gun. Do you have a gun?
Oh no, I don't.
He pulls out his Ares Lightfire and hands it to her and says, "Take this."
As I pick it up, I shake a little bit as I, Mr. Johnson, I have incompetent firearms.
All right. You also have gremlins by any chance?
I
you
do.
Don't you? Oh man, I'm gonna make you roll your gremlins just for touching the thing. Then. Normally I wouldn't, but with those two combined.
All right, so I roll 2d6, and if I get a 1, something real bad happens.
Oh yeah, and please make sure to call out your dice rolls here because I've got other windows open.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so Danan, you hand Danan the gun, and she like kind of shakes to go to take it, and then she does, and like grabs the top of it, and suddenly the gun falls to the ground. Somehow manages to go off, even though she's got like the top slide of it in her hand, and the rest of it fell down. And there's a little like ricochet sound inside the truck.
Oh, frick!
I yipe a little.
Okay.
All right, no more guns for you.
How about and I hand her a knife instead. Here, just
Are we
take this.
confident with this move? I don't.
I hold it awkwardly and then just give it back and go, I have spirits that can hit things hard.
If you say so. You were looking a little weak in the knees earlier, so.
Yeah, I don't need much of a spirit to do what I'm asking it to do, so. Okay, bye. I get out of the car.
Okay.
And, Rooster, you have licenses for your guns and things? Or are we gonna have to?
Yeah, you're talking to a professional here, Skipper.
All right, just want to make sure.
Guys,
All
that
right,
was really
so-
fun.
So then you slip away from the car and you start walking away into the darkness. Doesn't look like you're close enough to where the cops notice you, but give me a sneaking roll just in case.
Okie day, and I am still invisible. Alright, so my sneak is 3 plus it's stealth
plus
plus
agility.
what?
Yeah, stealth
Agility,
plus
okay.
agility. I'm used to saying sneaking. It's stealth now.
3 hits, and I still have my note that I rolled a 4 for my invisibility, so they have to pass by a 4 to see me too.
Okay, it doesn't look like any of the police are looking your general direction, and they certainly don't seem to object to doing what you're doing at this point. So you managed to slip away, and they don't seem to be following you or noticing you, as far as you can tell. You're able to cover some ground to start looking for a good spot to go over the wall.
I'm looking for a spot I can kind of hunker down and astrally perceive without being noticed, and before I summon.
Okay. I guess with your stealth of 3, I'm gonna say you found a pretty decent spot to take a look. There's lots of like kind of nooks and crannies and chunks of buildings here and there, and it's a fairly the whole area has a kind of an industrial park sort of feel. There's lots and lots of construction projects just in progress at the moment. So you find a nice little place where you can kind of duck in, where it's nice and shadowed, and doesn't seem to be anybody wandering by, and you're able to watch the astral patrols move past on the wall, and you definitely see them. But give me a perception test to see how much information you pick up in a short time.
Okay, that's 5 plus 5. I'm still on my stim patch, so I'm not at minuses right now, which is great.
You've got about 15 minutes left on that thing before it wears off.
3 hits on that.
Okay, yeah, with 3 hits, it looks like there are patrols of at least 2 astral entities moving past fairly rapidly. They might be designed on such to move in such a way as to make it difficult to discern a pattern, because it's hard to tell how much time there is in between, and there's almost no warning before one would be like crossing your path before you would notice them. So, because they're all zipping along kind of pretty quickly along their circuit, more just less. Of course, the good news is they can't be watching things too closely while they're moving that fast. So
Right.
it's going to be a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I try to like hunker deeper into the shadows and between structures so that they really have to kind of get into my little corner if they're gonna see me. And we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna summon I I'm feeling better now, so I'm gonna go ahead and summon a Force 4. Just to see what happens. If I pass out, guys.
Okay, you roll summoning plus magic, and this is opposed by the
Conjuring.
spirits double their force. Or conjuring plus magic.
Yes, double their force. So Force 4, so you get 8 dice. I get... Where's my conjuring? This. Alright, so I'm gonna get 10 dice.
Blow on it.
The computer screen?
Wherever the dice are.
I have gremlins. I think that's a terrible idea.
We'll keep some edge on hand then.
4 hits.
Nice.
All right, I got 0 hits, so you have 4 net hits.
Whew.
Just eagerly arrives from the meta planes to assist you with just it's an air spirit, was it?
Yes.
What does your air spirit typically like? What do your air spirits typically look like?
For Dinan, honestly, it just looks more like shadow. It's like a glimmer in the air, like, you know, when you're grilling and you see like a wave over the grill from the heat.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, this sort of shadowy shimmer that appears,
Yeah.
and then just you hear this voice that says, "Oh boy, it's the material plane. Finally, I've never been summoned before. This is going to be great. What are we doing?"
Man.
I'm uncomfortable.
Now you know why he's never been summoned before.
Yeah,
You do still have to resist a minimum of 2 points of drain with your drain resistance test.
gotcha. All right, on it.
Oh, by the way, everybody make sure it's the start of a new session. Everybody's edge pool refreshes.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to announce that. But yes, at the beginning of the session, your edge pool becomes your edge attribute, whatever it was before.
I rolled a 3 for my my drain, so I'm good.
Okay, yeah, you don't feel any further tired by it, and you have this eager spirit hanging out by you in astral space.
Okay.
For services, or will I be doing a remote service? Is that a thing anymore? I haven't read up on all the memos.
I like the idea that this air spirit's like he's been so excited about it that he knows all the terminology. He's been studying it in his book.
Are you hermetic or a shaman?
I am mostly not wanting to talk so much.
Oh, sorry. I thought we'd have a conversation.
I'm not great at that. Sorry to disappoint you, spirit.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
You're doing fine. I
Please
think
carry me over the wall without being seen.
You're doing a great job.
Mm,
yes, of course. And he reaches down to like pick you up, and his astral form doesn't do that. He goes, "Oh wait, I must materialize."
Don't worry, it's my first time too. We'll figure this out together.
Yeah, the spirit sort of materializes around you like a dark cloak, and you feel
I wanna
yourself
go
start
back
to
to
tug
the-
up and rise. Oh, here we go. We're going above the ground. That's it, ground. We don't have that where I'm from. And you start floating up.
Duggan's F says air spirit is voiced by Skeletor.
That's not my Skeletor. Like, all right, let's go up there.
Hey man!
So I guess the spirit will use its movement and concealment powers on you to pick you up and carry you across. And
I make
guess-
awkward noises when it touches me.
and yeah, you go like flying up and over, the spirit constantly chattering as it goes.
I'm pretty sure sneaking involves being quiet.
It's using the telepathic link. So
That means in my head too.
oh, I didn't know it made acoustic reverberations when I communicated mind to mind.
I just trying to listen for people that might see us.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't. Oh, right. Sorry. I'll try not to distract you. Are we waiting for something? Should I go now? And you see like a patrol zip past.
Now.
Give me a stealth test, but I'm gonna play fast and loose with the rules a little bit because this is some skill and some luck. So let's do stealth plus edge instead of stealth plus agility.
Oh boy, I get an extra dice.
So since we are highlighting the rules a little bit, let's be clear for everyone. Are there any rules for being stealthy in the astral plane?
I'd assume you just normally use your stealth skill, but your stealth agility,
Mhm.
which I think is it logic or intuition? I forget. Logic, yes. So
Yeah, well, I'm hermetic, so it's logic for me for most things. So I'm not sure if that weighs
Well,
over, but
the
I don't
attribute,
remember reading anything different about it.
yeah, the mental attributes that define your astral physical attributes, those are the same
Right.
regardless of your tradition.
Right.
It's willpower is body, charisma is strength, and I'm pretty sure intuition is reaction and logic is agility. But I sometimes mix those up. But yeah, in this case, yeah, if you were just like stealthing through yourself, I might have you roll stealth plus agility. But in this case, I'm also sort of like incorporating like whether or not you're just stumbled upon in that moment or not as part of the edge. So I'm sort of using edge as a luck for that. It's kind of house ruley, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that on our showcasing the Shadowrun 6 World podcast thing, but
I rolled,
whatever. That's how I roll.
I rolled 2 hits on that.
Okay. With 2 hits, that's enough from what you're looking for. You slip on through just as a patrol moves past. Another one isn't right at its heels like with some of the other ones, and you find yourself on the other side of the wall. And the air spirit is bringing you down towards the ground and saying, "Oh my, there we go. That was quite bracing. I think I did fairly well. What did you think?"
You did great. Let's make sure that we get behind some more rubble so that we don't get seen if they go, like.
Ah, yes, rubble. He looks around. Oh, that's right. I didn't know what that was at first, but the impression of your mind. Oh, this is quite exhilarating. I
Okay.
suppose you still have another service left, and he says, as you're doing that, and all that was going on. Austin, you have some other people to drive on through, so you go up from one car to the next, and they take a little bit of time with each one. There's another one that they like harass more and have them all get out of the car and search them over and start searching over the car. And one of them has you pull up around to the side as they're looking over. The officer comes up around, shines his flashlight up, and it's a big, broad human guy. And he comes walking up to your driver's side window, thing up, and says, well, waits for you to roll down the window.
Oh, yeah.
I've already, by the way, prepared my weapons so that they're out and I don't have to like reach for them or anything, like don't want to make anybody nervous.
All right, he shines the light on and says, hello, what's your business tonight?
I'm just heading back home.
And they're running a SIN scan currently. He says, we're going to need retinols for the system notification number scan. Just look this way. He holds up his comlink.
All right.
And he's doing a SIN scan. It's a little bit higher rating than it was in the weigh-in. What rating SINs are you working with?
I'm working with a rating 3 SIN, Jefferson Glass.
I've got rating 4, maximum steel. Because we didn't come up with a better name.
We came up with the best name.
All right, and Jin, whatever happens with him is in the background.
Mhm.
So he checks things over, and then he says, "All right, sir, I'll need you to step out of your vehicle." Says that to Austin.
Sure. What seems to be the issue? And I'll get on out.
Just a blip on the ident scan. We're gonna have to do a little bit more thorough check. If you step this way here, we'll need a tissue sample.
All right. Yeah, that happens sometimes. My number's very similar to another guy out in San Francisco. All right.
He still seems bored at this point, but yeah, it looks like they're gonna do another follow-up.
Hey, excuse me, officer. I'd want to get his attention. I'd be like, hey, listen, as you can tell, we're just passing through. We just made some stuff. We got everything laid out here for you. I don't think we're going to cause you any trouble. Everything's in order. We really don't want to hold up your time. I used to be a law enforcement officer myself, and I can tell that you really just want to take, we just don't want to hold up the time. There's a big, long line back here, and if you don't mind, we'll just get right out of your way. I've got an influence skill. I'm trying to use it.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. I'm gonna give the. See, in this situation, I'm gonna give your opponent an edge because you're at a very. This is very much like outside of what they would normally do. Things aren't checking out, obviously,
Right.
and that's why they're taking more time. He shouldn't just let you pass based on his procedures. So.
Let's see how I can do.
I'll
I got
use an
3
edge
hits!
against you on this.
3 hits on
Nice.
8 dice. I call that good.
He looks over at the orc with a bunch of guns. Is like, you know what? You got all that direct and your stuff checked out. I guess fine.
Yeah, thanks.
He looks over at Austin or Skipper and says, I suppose if you'd be willing to handle any fines immediately, we'd allow you to move on past.
Yeah, what's it usually? 200 new yen?
Says, yeah, 200 new yen. That sounds about right. I don't have all the paperwork here. We'll just do a certified transfer if you don't mind.
Yeah, I
And
trust.
he just looks at you with this look like, you know, and he knows what's going on.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I trust you'll fill out the paperwork properly, and I'll hand him the cred stick.
Thank you thank you for your cooperation. Have a safe night. And you're
get
allowed
back
to
in the
walk
truck.
back to your car without the further sin scan.
Whew, that was a close one.
Yeah, need to get a new sin.
Yeah, these guys are pretty tough here at the border wall. We'll take that out of the advance that we got for the run.
Yeah, so FYI, going in, Denen's scan, hers came up as they picked that one out as a fake, definitely, and they were gonna chase that. That one's definitely burned. Yours, it just was the initial scan where there was like as many hits as the rating, so they have to do a follow-up scan. So yours is not burned as a
Right.
result of this.
That's
as
what I
far as
was.
you know.
That's why I was
Okay.
trying to get him. I was trying to avoid that for you.
Yeah, no, good call.
Yeah, if they'd have like made that other test with even more dice and gotten enough hits to where it would have failed, then you would have been in a much more serious situation, and your sin being burned would have been on the list of problems to deal with later.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah,
at this
you
point,
got out of Chicago proper at least, and
Hey, Skipper, pull up over here. Take an alley. I'm not going any further until we make sure our mage friend is
Yeah, let's go ahead and
safe.
contact her, and I'll pull into a
another
safe
10 minutes
area.
or so before Denen is able to message you that she's managed to get over.
Hi guys.
What's your status? What's your 40? I don't know.
I am over the wall.
All right.
All right. Can you
Are
get
you-
around yourself? Should we pick you up somewhere?
Are there like a bunch of people around you? You're whispering really quietly. It's hard to hear
No,
you.
This is how I sneak.
Oh, right.
So, where are you?
I'll just ping. I'll ping my location on our call. I'll send her a Google Maps location.
Yeah. We're like 2 blocks from the Denny's on 23rd.
Yeah, you're actually not too far apart because she had gone off on foot and then flew over the wall with a spirit. So you're able to catch
my
up and
comlink
rendezvous.
working?
What's that?
Is my comlink working?
Why wouldn't it be?
Gremlins.
Oh right, yes, Gremlins roll. Let's skip it this
diggity,
time.
Hot diggity
Cool.
damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
The Gremlins
I've
were
rolled-
appeased by the firearms.
Oh, thank
last
goodness.
time.
They're still giggling.
Yeah, no, I've got a new little vent in the roof of Dom here.
Sorry.
All right.
At least I can get in without opening the doors. No, I'm kidding.
You're able to swing by and pick up to them. The team is all back together, and you manage to get past the Lone Star checkpoint on the way out.
All right. Should we wait and call Mr. Johnson or Big Dave in the morning? Probably, because what time is it now? It's midnight, 1 o'clock, later?
It's a little later than that. It's probably more like somewhere between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, if a bomb might go off, I'd kind of want to know. Sooner?
Yeah, I think these are still operating hours for him, too. All right, yeah. Just let's get a hold of Big Dave here and see what's going on.
All right, who's ringing up Big Dave?
I'll ring him up.
He answers a couple rings in. There's some loud music in the background that starts to get dulled up down by the software on the comlink. And he's smiling at you with his slick back haircut. Big Dave's kind of a scrawny, wily looking orc. Says, hey, I was hoping to hear from you. How are things going?
Good evening, Dave.
News.
Yeah, mission was successful.
Oh, that's my favorite words to hear. Well, almost.
Yeah, not quite as much of a milk run as we thought it might be, but you know, we always come through. There was kind of a little interesting incident. Someone had patched their cyber eyes to broadcast to all of us, presumably more people inside the noose there. You remember when Ares had those suitcase nukes during the whole Universal Brotherhood incident? Well, there's a couple of them still out there.
That sounds fascinating. And why are we talking about this on the phone?
You don't have a secure line?
Well, I don't know if your line is secure. I mean, mine's secure, sure. It's a... Looks
right.
over. Is it secure? Okay, good. Yeah, mine's
like
secure for sure.
I feel like Jin says something snarky about his corp and...
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. We should probably meet in person.
But yeah, if this is something sensitive, plus we got to go over the debrief, share all the info, decide if you guys like scout some stuff up, you know, shoot some bad guys or something. Let me know if you earned your bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out on the town. I see this club just closed up here. The bar closed. It's just so early in this town. Why don't we meet at this place just off the Highway 41, a little south of Milwaukee? They got good omelets there. It's a truck stop kind of place. And
All
it
right,
gives
that's
you
my
a
favorite.
ping.
All right, yeah, we'll meet you there. What, an hour?
Sounds good. I'll save you a seat.
Thanks. All right.
We have to go by more people again.
Yep, it's gonna be a
So
long
I
night.
guess after your stim patch wears off, Danen, are you still conscious?
Very much no, I sleep in.
Well, we got an hour.
Yeah.
So we'll
If
cut to
you,
an hour. Danen, you're waking up in the car just as it's pulling into the truck stop. Danen, give me a body plus willpower test to see how many stun boxes you recover in that hour of rest.
Alright.
One.
Just
Okay,
one.
yeah, you feel like direct warmed over and microwaved, I think.
Stop thinking so loud.
Hey, better than the open lacerations from rat wounds I have.
I was talking to the spirit, but you shut up too.
Yeah, this place is like, it kind of looks like a sprawled version of a gas station. There's like a gas station and several, like 2 different areas with pumps and recharging stations and like this like gift shop / shopping center thing with several different shops, most of which are closed at this hour, and then this like other side of it, wing of it, that's its own kind of diner space / bar. And it looks like a lot of different trucks have pulled up and stopped here. And there's still plenty of truckers in the world of somewhat automated self-driving vehicles as well. But these days, it's a lot of them being the automated vehicles pulling in and getting maintenance and recharges before they go along their way. But yeah, there's still a lot of people who sort of drive in and stay here and get a shower and go back on the road. So that's what this kind of place is. And in the distance to your left, you can see this kind of castle-looking thing, and it's got a big sign on it that says cheese.
I like this place.
I like
Interesting.
cheese also.
I like
Yeah.
you, Rooster.
It might be the Chicago sprawl, but this is technically Wisconsin. So.
Right.
All right. Well, I don't know about you. At this hour, I am feeling a bacon omelet, soy bacon omelet, and a Manhattan. So let's get in there.
do it.
So you head on into the place, and country music is playing over the speakers as you walking in, and someone singing the latest tune about how their wife left them, and their hellhound left them, and now even their truck left them.
Got
And,
a lot of problems.
Classic.
Yep. And you see like in one of the corner booths, looks like Big Dave's already there with several different plates of various different breakfast foods and a few different appetizers around. And you see Bebop's hanging out there, drinking out of one of those like metal can milkshake looking things. And let's see, what was the other one? Oh, Lola, the big troll woman with the sort of filed down horns, is just kind of like sitting at the edge of the booth with her arms crossed and just looking over things with a general disapproving demeanor. As you approach, she sort of looks up at you and nods.
All right. I'm gonna sit down and just start loading up a plate. I am starving.
All right, everyone give me a perception test.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be hard.
I am at -3 again.
Yeah, it's hard for me to perceive much over. I'm distracted by bleeding.
Oh, I got 3 hits.
With 3 hits, you definitely notice, like, over kind of on the other corner across the room, like one of the other booths, there's a bunch of elves wearing, like, black and green leathers that are hanging out. Kind of sprawling about, doing a bunch of, putting their legs up on the tables and stuff, and tossing some of their trash around, and generally being hooligans. They look vaguely familiar, but that might just be the colors and the pointed ears.
Okay. I'm gonna make a point to keep my back to them as much as possible.
This is maybe about 10 miles away from where you were hit on the way down, so
Mhm.
these might be the same ones that attacked you. Well, some of them at least.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
As a matter of fact, it does look like some of them have like some recent looking bandages on them and some bruises and stuff, so. But yeah, they're making some noise back there, but Big Dave pays him no mind as he greets you and take a seat. Welcome, have a seat. I ordered a few things. I mean, the food here is dirt cheap, right? So, I mean, you can get what you want, but feel free to dig in. Kind of pats his stomach. We've had what I think, Bebop says, speak for yourself, as he reaches over and like 3 of the plates start getting pulled over in his direction. How can you eat that, Drek? Lola says. He looks over at her with a big grin, picks up a piece of bacon, dips it in some fake egg yolk, and goes.
I'm just imagining Opti eating at on his screen like he does anyway.
Yeah, Jin's sitting there making just as big of a mess on his side of the table.
All right. Also, while I'm recognizing maybe some of those ancients, I'm thinking I'm gonna just remotely contact my truck a little bit, have it pull around back. I just don't want it to be visible when these guys come out to go get to their bikes.
I'm gonna remotely
You didn't
contact
see their bikes
my,
when you pulled in?
I'm gonna remotely
But it's a big
contact
enough place
my,
that they could be
my
parked.
smart link.
Sorry, go on, Bobby.
I was just making the joke saying I'm gonna remotely contact my smart link.
Can I remotely contact something?
Yes, you've got a very eager air spirit waiting for orders. You can chase nearby. You could totally contact them if you want. I'm sure it would make their evening.
I need soy calf.
Is that a request for like one of your spirit's orders, or is that just a thing you're saying?
No.
Oh yeah, actually, your
for,
spirit says, "Soy calf. Yes, I will find it for you. Where shall I? Ah, there. Yes, I see what you mean."
It's like a
And it
genie. You
seems
just
like
wasted
it's
one of
about-
your wishes.
You get the sense that it's about to like materialize and go take someone else's coffee from a nearby table and bring it to you. So you have a moment of like, no, like, oh, okay, I will wait then.
Wait, let's wait quietly. It's a game.
I am very excellent at being quiet. I can speak for hours without making a sound.
Oh my god. What did I do?
Best spirit ever.
You know, I've heard some summoners will call a spirit and bind them permanently to themselves, as in a thing called an ally spirit. Have you heard of such a technique? I have always wondered
No.
what it would be like to be an ally spirit. All right, so
Danen
Okay.
fears commitment.
Big Dave says, "All right, so we're here. You said you got the job done. Go and give me some info. Let's he gestures over at Lola, who takes out a comlink. It's a kind of a nicer, more expensive one. Sits on the table. Says, "All right, just plug your things into that and do the thing. We'll talk discreetly via AR." And everyone's able to kind of jack in like to this little hub. And you don't have to do this to communicate comlink to comlink, but if you do, there's like no hacking it without someone like walking up and plugging something in between, which would be kind of obvious. So it's pretty secure without like having a room that, you know, people could theoretically listen in on.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear his voice just like it sounds normally, but he's, you know, chewing on some food. Big Dave says, "So tell me, how'd it go? What'd you run into? You said it wasn't exactly a milk run. I'm figuring you got some detailed specs on some of the threats down there."
Rats.
Rats.
As you give him the feed on the rats, he's like, "Holy direct, man. Oh, man. Dude. Whew, I would have laughed until I saw that video. Man, that looks like it hurt."
Oh, believe me, it did.
Yeah. Said it felt poisonous too, right?
It felt very poisonous.
That's I can see some of your veins changing colors up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this is definitely worth something. I mean, like, devil rats and critters are general nuisance all over the place, right? But it's good to know there's such a nasty pack of them here, I suppose. So we'll keep a watch out for that. Thanks. That's gonna save some lives. What else you got? You said there's some sort of gang down there with like weird arms.
Yeah, the superhumans, I believe they called themselves. Yeah, they like to get themselves all cybered up, buzzsaw hands, you know, that sort of deal.
So what kind of state you leave them in? I'm assuming you had to tangle with them to get your job done.
Oh yeah. I think we managed to take down 3 or 4 of them out of it's felt like maybe 10. So they're about 50% power right now.
Good. Yeah, send over some of the data. I'm looking over some of your video feeds now. I'm assuming you're sharing some stuff with him.
Yeah.
Jin's just like setting him like compiled stuff that he has.
Mhm.
And,
Spent the last
good.
hour.
This is good stuff. What about are you something about? Are you gonna tell him? Or Jin sends you a thing? Do we tell him about the other runners?
Yeah. There was some rival runners, but we managed to chase them off. Yeah, they just peeled on out. We got some of the images of them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised someone on the other side of things had their own team doing this. I was kind of hoping we were on the faster side of it, but yeah, it looks like it didn't matter, and good work. And what about deeper below? No, like bug hives or any direct like that?
No, nothing like that, thankfully.
Just this one guy, huh? He didn't seem dangerous to you? You didn't,
I just clocked him over the head.
All right, and do you tell him about the room that was locked up full of people that are going to be sold to the Yakuza?
I think we can glaze over that a little bit.
Okay. You skipped the moral commentary from your
Yeah, I know what he's
Johnson.
gonna say, but he wasn't there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'd say, given that you put a dent in some of these, didn't just scout them and scoot around or something, I think that's worth something. What do you say to a 2,500 yen bonus?
Did we tell him about the case?
Yeah, we'll get to that in
Yeah,
just
there
a
was
minute.
some weird stuff, other stuff you were talking about on the phone. I want to get this business out of the way, and then I guess we can talk about that. I wasn't quite sure if I heard you right on the phone. Something about well, let's just sort of the business.
Yeah, so 2,500 should be good.
Each?
Says, yeah, each. Here you go. Lola, you want to hook them up? And Of course, you've all been sort of like sitting here and eating quietly at the table while you're having this conversation over the computer system. Though, Danen, I would like to get a Gremlins roll from you to see how things are going.
Get a
You're
what? I'm
mostly
sorry.
being fairly passive on this, but
What
give
kind
me
of
a
roll? I'm
Gremlins
sorry.
roll. Gremlins.
Oh, okay.
Roll 2 dice and see if you get a 1 on one of them. That does seem to come up awfully often.
No one, but no successes.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay, yeah, nothing weird happens with the computers then. And Lola basically takes out her own comlink, what must be her own comlink, and slots some certified cred sticks, kind of one at a time, and loads them up and passes them to each of you, kind of subtly. She's not tossing them on the table in the middle of this restaurant. About that time, looks like 4 Lone Star officers have come in and sat down at a booth, about equally between where you guys are and the ancients. And the ancients are just like giving them some looks and some faces, and the cops are giving the ancients some looks. But yeah, neither are messing with the other because they're just there to get an omelet or something. But
I'm keeping a watchful eye over the tension there, getting ready to jump if I need to.
Sleeping well tomorrow.
You're each paid with 7,500 new yen of certified cred, which means untraceable cash.
All right.
You're able to transfer them to your own funds and verify that they're not counterfeit cred. And it looks like you just got paid for a job well done, or done at least.
Sweet.
Okay, all right. You said you got some other pay data or ran into something weird you want to tell me about?
Yeah. Maybe you might have some connections that can help us out with this. So, like I was saying, the nukes that Ares brought into Chicago a couple decades
to blow
ago.
up the bugs in Drek, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of them still floating around, I guess. There was someone, I think he said his name was Canyon, who had gotten hold of one of these. Some situation went wrong, and it's probably the Team Decker was broadcasting through his cyber eyes. Everyone in the few blocks around there trying to get out this information. We happen to be there. So, someone's got a nuke in the noose.
You sure? Because, people say things all the time, and sometimes they're bragging or something. This probably isn't anything to worry about.
Someone got shot in the face over it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Tuesday in Chicago to me.
I mean, fair enough. But I recognize these cases. I've seen them before.
Yeah, Jin pops up the video feed and zooms into it and shows it up and then your fixer Big Davey just goes a bit pale and is like, there's no way that still works, right? That's nothing we need to be concerned about, right?
I mean,
you can ignore the problem. It's not going to save you from being blown up.
The rules about nuclear weapons have been different ever since the Awakening. Who knows what this thing could do?
I'm concerned about it, so I'd like to leave town. If nobody cares.
Drek, now I'm responsible for what happens. Why did you have to tell me this?
Right, now we're all responsible.
Yeah, but
in the meantime, because you're the one that has the connections in order to figure out who exactly this guy is. Maybe we can track them down, nip this in the bud, and I guarantee someone's willing to pay for that.
You sure it doesn't seem like something that'd be much money in? Just
I think Ares would love to recover their nuclear bomb suitcases.
I don't know if I want them involved. I gotta think about this. This is.
Well,
Even if it doesn't work, the people would kill over that kind of Drek.
Yeah. So I don't know. My vote is we recover it and sell it to the highest bidder and retire to the Bahamas.
I like that.
Even if there's not a payday in it, stability makes your business a lot more lucrative. And I can't think of anything much more unstable than a nuclear weapon.
Rooster's right. There is also kind of the moral aspect of this. I mean, I wouldn't want to have, if something happened here, I wouldn't want to have that on my hands. You get to do the right thing and make a lot of money. This is a win-win.
Well, Drek, I guess we gotta do something about it, right?
I just imagine my gravestone saying, Denen, she died doing the right thing.
So, well,
Better than
it
dying
looks like-
doing the wrong thing.
We're Shadowrunners.
Well, it looks like you're all about to, some of you about to fall over unconscious any second. Why don't you get some rest?
Yeah.
I'll look into what I can. Give me everything you got on this, and I'll see what I can do. But I mean, you got a name, right? It doesn't mean anything to me, but maybe if you're feeling up to it, check in with some of your other contacts, see what you can find out. But please, don't go telling people about this, because like, people might kill us just for knowing what we know. You know, this is
Yeah.
the kind of thing that people get shot in the face over for knowing about.
You know, the only people I trust with this are at this table.
Aww. Look over. Are we friends now?
No, he's just not
I
an
guess-
idiot.
I guess that's technically true on my account as well. All right. Drek, I was gonna go get some rest after this. Now I gotta go make some calls and find out who this bastard is. All right. I guess you got my number. Let's talk tomorrow sometime. God damn it! Enjoy your New Yen, assholes. He gets up. Come on, let's go. And he goes storming off with his bodyguards.
I know I'm awkward, but I'm pretty sure that was socially unacceptable.
Yeah, he's having a rough day.
You got eaten by a rat and you're not complaining.
Hey, some people are made for it. Some people can't handle the heat.
I'd say the only thing I've seen Rooster complain about is other people's trigger discipline.
Sorry.
All right, well, I'm ready to turn in for the night.
Yes, please.
Drop you guys off at your place. Places.
I'm gonna try to find a street dock on the way home.
Yeah, I don't have any contacts that can handle that.
I think I have a street dock. I can guide you there.
All right, we'll get Rooster dropped off.
All right, I think we'll cut there for the moment. You finished a run and you got paid and you got some other information and you gotta go get some rest. I think now is a good midpoint break. I think.
Excellent idea.
Sounds good. Turn on this AC again. It's getting toasty in here.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I want a snack.
So we're gonna take a quick 5 or so minute break, everyone, and we'll be right back. Remember, we've got a fundraiser going on right now, a summer fundraiser. We're trying to get to our goal to fund this stuff from keep it going. We're at almost at our halfway mark, and there's some really cool stuff you can get. You could be playing Shadowrun Missions Online, a real, actually sanctioned Shadowrun Missions Online at our online venue. And you can get a bundle of 6 tickets for that for only $20. Normally they're $5 a piece, so that's called our Shadowrun Missions Online Season Pass. Get that as one of the perks on our fundraiser, and help us
that's
out.
the only time we ever sell that. You can't buy that package deal any other time of the year. That's
Only
the
during
time.
the
I mean,
fundraiser.
$5 per session. It's pretty reasonable already. But yeah,
We mark it way
$20
down.
for 6 sessions.
Yep. Just for the fundraiser, we mark it way down, and they can be used at any time. You get a coupon code that's that's good for 6 sessions at any time.
And I will tell you, we will be running the 6th edition stuff on Shadowrun Missions Online as soon as we are legally allowed to.
Yeah, as
which I
soon
think will
as
be right after Gen Con, but I'm not sure exactly.
whenever it is, we will do it. We have a great guy, some of you may know, Matt Lemon, who runs our manages all of our Shadowrun missions online stuff, and he works really hard to get the new stuff up as fast as possible so that our GMs can start running it. And all of our GMs are Catalyst demo team agents, so they're all legit Shadowrun missions. But anyway, there's lots of stuff on there. Check it out. I want to see some progress towards Mr. Johnson having to give up the Pirates campaign when we get back from our break. So, do that, and we'll be right back, guys. And yeah, bye. See you in a minute.
Ken.
That's something that I do a lot with this stream in particular. I have to fix it. Everybody can hear me now. I have I have to mute my. It's because everything's broken. Anyway, as we were saying, we all came back. We were just talking about how great our break was, and I was explaining that Sarah's eating Cocoa Krispies, and that I have a weakness for. I cannot. That's one of my bad habits. Is I cannot get rid of. I can't push super sugary cereals out of my life. That's just, I think it's just, I've accepted that it's a part of my life forever. I love cereal, and the more sugary, the better.
I've started shopping at Aldi in the last few months or so because they're just like way cooler than I remember them being years ago when they just had just awful crap there. And there's still some awful crap there, but there's some really good stuff and decent deals as well.
Do they still make you pay for the shopping cart?
Well, kind of. I mean, you have to put a quarter in to get the shopping cart, and you get it back when you return the shopping cart.
Oh, right. It's your 25-cent deposit.
I'm in Wisconsin, so like I've never had to bring a quarter because there's always somebody like, "Oh, here you go, just pay it forward." But
right.
I noticed, and I think it was Indianapolis. They had like special. Was it Indianapolis or Columbus? I'm trying to remember. They had like these shopping carts with like alarm systems on it, so like the homeless people couldn't steal them. I had to like wonder, like, how do you have like that much money to spend on preventing homeless people from stealing your cart, and yet you have homeless people like with like just give them food or something, anyway,
or just eat the cost. It would cost you less money just to lose the shopping cart.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Columbus because I remember there being like lots of like general crappy attitudes towards homeless people like that year from general people in Columbus at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember what I was starting to say. Oh yes, my children are incredibly amused by the obviously fake brands of breakfast cereal versions that are in the Aldi. So it's like Cocoa Rice instead of like I forget what the other one is, and it's cookies instead of Cookie Crisp, and they just that's like the funniest thing they've ever seen. They always have to point it out, and we always get a laugh.
Do you guys have Food Lions? Do you know what a Food Lion is? It's a grocery store. They always had weird soda brand names like Mountain Lightning, and
I always love the fake names that they have in movies and stuff when they can't get the rights to actually put Coca-Cola on there, and so they come up with something.
Yeah.
Like Let's Chips. They had a whole joke about that in Community that they kept coming back to.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Community is a treasure.
That is. It's a great show. So we're here to play some Shadowrun, and we're I think we're officially in downtime now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the job done, you got paid. There was some complications, but you're working on it, I suppose. You turned it over for someone else to worry about as well, and you got to get some rest and maybe spend some of your karma in Nuyen if you want. But also maybe do some legwork on this Canyon guy and the guy Gannon that he shot in the face.
Yeah.
As soon as we leave
we got a couple.
bar,
Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, Sarah.
okay.
I just wanted to point out that we did get a couple of donations for the fundraiser while we were away. Thank you guys, and some raffle tickets purchased. If you ever want to play games with the Shadowcasters, like me or Mr. Johnson or Opti or Oz or Damien or somebody, then one of the perks you can get is to purchase a private night of gaming with us. It's called Game with Shadowcasters, and that's always really fun. We get to hang out with fans, and we always make it work. It might take us 6 months to be able to make our schedules line up, but if you get that, we will make it work, and we'll play anything you want to play. It could be Shadowrun, or it could be any game you want to play. So, anyway, continue.
I want a private night of gaming with the Shadowcasters.
Well, we got to do this in front of everybody. One night we just need to turn off the stream and make it happen. Anyway, I need to find a street dock.
The man was about to say something before you interrupted.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Oh, I don't remember. It's long gone,
Okay.
guys.
Great. Sorry about that.
Oh, I remember. As soon as we get in the, is it a car? Is it a truck?
It's a
I
truck.
don't remember. As soon as we get in the truck from the bar, I'm like snoring before all the doors shut. Gone.
The seats are very comfortable.
So you go home, you get a good night's sleep. Though I think some of you are trying to get a good night's sleep at Street Doc's place instead, maybe. So,
Yeah, didn't say you sent me the coordinates, the address for your street dock?
I sure hope I did before I fell asleep. Sorry, Rooster.
Sorry, I'll just use the phone book.
What?
Yeah, just sleep it off. You'll be fine. Yeah, no, let's find the street dock.
yeah, and the real Kyoto Kid, the truck was shot up, but it has been fixed.
Well, I shot it up again.
Yeah, there's one more hole in the...
Oh yeah,
The
it
roof
didn't do
there.
any damage. It's just a
Yeah, it's just an
Sorry,
aesthetic.
Skipper.
that hole is actually from
Needed
earlier.
ventilation.
Like the one from Dinan is like buried in the upholstery somewhere. It'll take ages to
Yeah.
track it down.
I've left my mark on Skipper's truck.
All right, and I guess you're able to spend some time and rest up. I guess who has a street dock then? Which one of you had a street dock you were going to visit?
I did.
All right, so you give them directions, make the call ahead of time. Who's your street dock then, and
okay.
what are they like?
His name is Diver, and he Dr. Diver, and I haven't been around the Shadows here long, but he's fixed me up a couple times on different teams. I met him through a mutual contact, so he does good work.
Okay. So you check Rooster in with Dr. Diver, who is happy to see you, and I guess he'll just charge. Well, what's your lifestyle, Rooster?
It's just like a regular old, like, what are they called? What are the? It's not like, I can't remember any
Low,
words.
medium, or high,
It's low.
or something else? Okay, low. Got it. So yeah, you don't have cash set aside for this sort of thing, so
No.
it's gonna cost you like, we'll call it 200 new yen for some under the table patching up. Is there any like first aid type stuff? Well, that has to be done in minutes, so obviously not. But this is all long term healing, right?
Yeah, 9 boxes of it.
Oof.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the healing rules then. So it works a lot like it does in 5th edition, where you roll some attributes and you heal boxes based on how many hits you roll, and that can be assisted by someone with medicine. I'm just pulling up the rules here, so I'll make sure I get it right. For stun, it's every hour you can make a test. It's body plus willpower. So we usually don't worry about that. If you get a few hours of sleep, the stun comes back. But as far as recovering physical damage, though, it's per day that you get to make the test. And I believe that's body times 2.
Hokey
That's what I'm
doke.
just looking up to verify here. Yes, here we go. Natural recovery. So you get plus 2 dice because someone with trained in biotech is watching over you. That's what that 200 new yen buys you. And yep, it's the same body plus body per day. So every hit heals a box of physical damage on this test.
Do I get to use my, is it my augmented body?
Sure.
Okay.
It doesn't say augmented or otherwise, so I would assume your augmented body. I mean, I don't imagine your bone lacing would help you heal faster, but in a way, it probably helps you not get as severely damaged.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And maybe it does help you heal faster by giving the bones a structure to regrow in or something. I don't know.
I got 2 hits.
Okay, so after a day's rest, you've recovered 2 boxes of physical damage.
Ugh.
You're still in messed up shape. See, Skipper, do you have any damage to recover?
1 box of stun from
you're
Rooster
fine.
falling on me. So I'm good.
Oh, I got. You said I
Yeah,
got 2 extra dice for the dock, right?
Yes.
So
and the
I'm go-
rules, having someone with biotech assist you gives you plus 2 dice instead of, I think in 50 it was like a medicine teamwork test on your healing test.
Yeah. I didn't get any extra hits on those 2 dice anyway.
Okay.
I still
Danen,
have
did you have any physical?
no physical, just 10 boxes of stun.
All right, so you get a few extra hours of sleep in or something, and you're fine. Jin, I'm pretty sure he had physical damage too, but he's not here to roll some dice, so we'll not worry about him right now.
Yeah, the doc's treating him too, and we'll find out how well he's healed next time.
Okay, super quick check-in. Are you gonna give it more time to rest up before you check in more? Because it doesn't look like anyone's calling you back the next day. I mean, Big Dave does check in to let you know that he's still asking around, but doesn't have any details. Did you find something else yet? So are you guys doing anything other than resting up during this day? Are you gonna let more time pass before you check in on things?
I'm gonna wire. Let's see. I have dependent 1, so I have to pay just 5% of whatever I make, but I'm gonna send 600 over it, a little bit extra, to my estranged daughter Whitney. She's about 4
Aw.
years old,
Aw.
and then to counteract that cuteness, I'm gonna go
Murder a
inject-
puppy?
no, I'm gonna inject myself with some bliss and just fucking conk out for about 12 hours.
Well done.
Numb the pain.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I call that getting my forgetting drinking going.
All right, so you zone out on bliss, and the troubles of the day melt away in a chemically induced haze.
Speaking of Hayes, he's in the chat room where he was earlier.
All right, so second day of healing. Rooster, you're going to fork out 200 million to stay with the street doc, or are you going to go
Yes.
rest it up on your own?
Yeah, man. No, I'm enjoying the rest in the doctor's office, or whatever you call it.
You sit in his desk chair.
Yeah.
It's actually it's actually one of those places. It's like a strip mall kind of thing with like a coffin motel sort of attached. Well, maybe not a coffin motel, but like they do have some coffins, but they have some smaller rooms and some other little shops here and a stuffer shack. And there's this little clinic there, and he works out of there and does some street doc stuff. So basically, like he's got some sort of arrangement with the hotel motel place or whatever. So you're sort of hooked up in a motel room that's like got some extra medical equipment in there.
It's a nice place, Doc. You got turned down service?
He gives a bit of a nod. I think so. It should be leaving you mints. Didn't they leave you the mint?
Yeah, it was tasted good. 4 hits.
All right, so after a second day of rest, you've healed 6 total out of the 9 boxes of damage. You're still feeling some pain and modifiers, but mostly on the mend. You gonna give it one more day?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll for that.
All right.
All right.
5 hits. Come on. Why couldn't I gotten a 4 and a 5 on the first day? That cost me 200 million. Okay.
All right, so yeah,
I'm done. Yeah.
3 days of resting up and getting patched up and being watched over, and I guess catching up on your Netflix queue or something. You managed to have fully healed from your injuries, and we'll say Jin's about ready to go as well. So we'll skip his dice rolling and say he heals up over the session too.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna take this. What was this guy's name?
Dr. Diver?
Dr. Diver. Hey, Doc. Thanks for the work. Gonna, if you don't mind, I'll save your number in my comlink and I'll give you a call next time I need some work, which inevitably will happen.
Yeah, sure, and I can hook you up with some upgrades too sometime. I know this place looks like it doesn't look like much, but there's a bit extra under the hood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Thanks.
Good. Yeah,
Well,
don't get
sorry, go ahead.
don't get so many holes put in that you can't get dragged back here to get patched up.
Good advice.
All right.
Now that you've been healing up, I would reach out to Skipper and be like, "You want to start trying to figure out where our briefcase might be?"
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to be repairing some of my drones here. My Hornet got messed up pretty bad on this last run, so I got to piece that back together. But I'll reach out and see what I can find.
Sure. In your
Okay.
case, it's engineering plus logic, and every hit you get repairs a box of damage. It's an hour per test. It's an extended test, so it does take one die away after each subsequent one. So don't critically glitch or something. But as far as I can tell, there's no like prices for doing the repairs, so it's all sort of figured into your tool costs, I guess.
Yeah. Just gonna roll 3 of them in a row here.
So you probably spent a chunk of that first day, patching some stuff up.
All right, that's 6 hits over 3 days. Which I think actually heals it up. It only got a body of 1.
Yeah, it's only an hour per test, not a day. Unless you're just doing an hour of work per day, but that's up to you.
Yeah, okay. I just need 2 more hits then, so I'm going to go ahead and add those in. Perfect. All right.
Okay. All right, how are you going to be looking into this then? You have this video feed that's got some faces on it. You've got the name Canyon. You got a good look at this object that Rooster was able to identify as an old Ares suitcase nuke, with some probably identifying information that should be able to help if you've got somebody who can look this sort of stuff up without having, Ares show up with an HTR to ask some more pointed questions.
Yeah, so I'm going to be showing around just the guy's face. I don't want it connected to the briefcase at all. I'm going to ask my contact Antonello Lafredo, who is my drug dealer. He is mafia connected.
All right, he picks up after a few rings and Skipper, good to hear from you, man. I've got a nice supply of stuff just came on in. I think you'll like it.
Excellent. I can't wait to get a taste of that. But I actually called you about something else. I'm curious, you talk to a lot of people. There was someone who was shooting at my buddy the other day. I'm curious, maybe you can help me know who it is. And I'm going to send him the picture of the guy's face.
And what's his connection rating?
Connection rating is a 4.
Go ahead and give me an etiquette test. You can add your bonus for loyalty with your contact to that.
That's influence, right? Because etiquette's like a
yes.
thing of that.
Yes, influence is etiquette's a specialization of that. So.
All right, so that gives me
influence plus charisma.
Grand total of 13 with the loyalty bonus for 3 hits.
Hey, listen, I deal in commodities typically rather than information, but if I've got something of value to you, I guess I'd be willing to sell it. It just so happens I have seen this guy. I know a little bit about him, and what's it worth to you? Is it going to involve somebody I know getting shot?
It's going to involve everyone you know blowing up. Sorry, I'm not there.
Yeah. No. I just want to make sure this guy doesn't, threaten my friends again. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, tell you what. Should toss me an extra 50 Nuyen next time you're picking stuff up. You need some more bliss? You want to do that custom stuff that I can get that chick to make for you?
Yeah. Give me a couple more orders of that.
All right, I'll get it on the way. Okay, here's the thing. I do know this guy. I actually don't know him personally very well. He's like driven a car that some people like smugglers brought some stuff before, like decent amounts. They're not like a regular supply run or something, but he's a rigger. I can tell you that much. Pretty sure goes by the name Canyon. Runs with a small crew, I think. Like I don't think they're regular smugglers. It was just something they were happened to be doing because they were in the right place, right time, making some new yen or something. So, yeah, I got kind of a weird vibe off of him. Like, I don't know. It just strikes me as one of those gearhead types that like doesn't give a direct for like, people who are alive and stuff. Like he's just giving me that like cold killer vibe, creeps me out a bit. If he was shooting at me, I'd be worried about it too. But I haven't heard anything about like specific like vendettas or him hunting people down or going John Wick on people or something. You didn't kill his puppy, did you?
No, thankfully. He's a local then?
Runs out of Chicago, general vicinity area. But yeah, like I said, he's a rigger, so he probably gets around. But yeah, I know other people who have, had dealings with him here and there. He's not like he runs a shop or everybody knows him or something. Not the most social character, I'd imagine, from what I see. But yeah, does that help?
Yeah, that does actually.
Oh, actually, I got a contact number for the guy who hooked up that deal back then. Shit, he's dead. Well, I have a contact number from a guy who dealt with him more frequently, who's not alive anymore. I'm pretty sure it's unrelated. He OD'd on some. Didn't get it from me. He was doing some experimenting on his own, dangerous stuff. Yeah, I guess I don't know if you need to look into it some more. Maybe I could look some people up and see who knows who. I mean, there's got to be somebody who picked up his business, but that's all I know off the top. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps a lot actually. Thank you. I might call you back and see if you can hook me up with any of those other contacts, but we'll see what my friends manage to find out.
Let me know, because if you do need me to look into it some, I'm going to have to spread some new yen around. That's going to cost more than what we talked about.
Mm-hmm. Of course. All right. Thanks a bunch, Antonello.
Yeah, see you later. He hangs up.
All right.
Well.
Also, in this downtime, I need to get myself a sin.
Good idea.
And pick up some reagents as well.
Okay, picking up reagents is pretty cheap and easy. You can just buy those. Getting a fake sin might be a little bit more difficult. They're fairly expensive and pretty illegal. Do you have a contact that would do that for you?
I have a fixer, but I've got pretty low loyalty because I'm not exactly good with people. So I actually am going to reach out to Skipper and see if he's got someone. And I also don't have a ton of money.
I sure do have someone. I've got my good friend Elsie Whitworth. She's a Sin Forger, works at the registry, and can switch around some of the numbers for us a little bit.
That'd be great. I hope she can cut a deal, or I can do an IOU.
Let's see, she'll be able to hook you up with up to a rating 4 fake sin, but it does cost like 2,500 new yen per level.
Yeah, it does. I can afford a rating 2.
And you probably want a license to go with it for doing magic, so if they sense you.
Yeah.
And those are only 200 yen per rating point, but
Yeah.
You're gonna want to save up some cash because you're just gonna throw that 2,500 new yen away if you just get a rating 2.
Right. So I guess I'll do all the sneaky stuff for right now.
Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Yeah. But lots of reagents. Hooray!
Thanks for the sub. He will gladly.
Hopefully we won't have to go into the noose for a little while at least.
Danger Duck of Doom wants me to pick up a firearm.
Danger Duck of Doom wants you to kill everyone in the store, I guess.
Just get the most advanced gun you can find with a smart link system and
Yeah, lots of computer parts.
grenade launcher.
I have a gun that I look at and it goes off. My gremlins plus the income.
And
Duggan's F asked, did you figure out how to use reagents in spellcasting?
Yeah, I figured out you can't. That's what I figured out.
You can use it for conjuring.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
conjuring and alchemy, right?
and
And,
there's
ritual
also
magic. Ritual spellcasting. I guess that's
I think
technically spellcasting.
I think it's almost everything but regular spellcasting.
banishing you can too.
I guess the laser pistols. We need to get in on the laser pistol.
Yeah. What kind of? Do we get any karma from that run?
Nice.
Yeah.
Everybody gets 5 points of karma. You're not really gonna have time to spend it though, so it's
Does-
kind of irrelevant. But
Does it
just for the sake of handing out karma.
Yeah, doesn't mean it doesn't make me feel good seeing it on my character sheet.
Yeah, the actual training times in this edition are pretty long. It's like weeks or months for like everything.
I wonder why. I always thought
Well-
that the training times were kind of long to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess from the skills perspective, the skills are like skill groups now, and those were always a really long training time. But yeah, there's no more like picking up a skill in a day or two for a job sort of thing as an option anymore. It looks like so.
Yeah.
I kind of miss that, but yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I just want to play a game. I don't want it to be so real. All right. I'm not spending my money on anything. I have the Ares Desert Strike, and it does a good job. Actually, I'm going to buy some stick and shock ammo, I think.
All right, so you're able to pick that up at the vending machine outside your room
Yeah,
over by the stuffer shack.
basically.
It's the UCAS after all.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that, 3 days have gone by. You've gathered a little bit of information, not a lot. Mainly, just that this guy's a rigger and he operates in the area.
Yeah, does anyone else have any contacts you can reach out to that might know something about this guy? People connected to criminal organizations or anything like that?
I did happen to hold on. I gotta put the tests in. I did happen to run into an info broker one time. Don't know him too well, but I might be able to call him. Probably cost us a little bit.
Well, if it can save, a few dozen lives.
Yeah. All right. What anything in particular we're looking to find out, or just as any information they have on this canyon guy who carries nukes around?
Any information we can have on this guy. I don't want to spread that he's carrying nukes around too much.
Right.
I told Antonello that he had just, he'd taken a couple shots at one of us, and we're just looking to get some revenge. Nothing big.
Right. Okay. I'll do it. What do we know about the guy already to jog this guy's memory? He's a rigger.
Rigger is a smuggler. He's local. Does he have any identifying tattoos or something?
Not that you tell, he's a human, kind of short hair, kind of nondescript in appearance. Not quite far enough to have the bland quality, but close. Wearing armor jacket, jeans. Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out much about him. If you were to say, he looks like a guy who... So it's not quite bland, but close. And
Yeah.
you do fortunately at least have some video footage of him. You could pull a still out of there that doesn't show the nuke in the background or whatever.
All right. I'm gonna call my my info broker.
All right, and who's your info broker?
Palmer says that his name is Zhao Li.
All right, so
I would have gone with Chaz Helmut. That's what we're doing instead. Chaz.
all right.
Sorry,
So-
Palmer.
Yeah, Chaz picks up. Yo, Rooster, my man. Haven't heard from you in some time. How are
Yeah.
you doing?
Doing all right. Just got off of a job, and it was pretty.
Yeah. I heard you went down in the CZ, tangled with some superhumans.
You-
Messed up their turf a bit.
You just hear everything, don't you, Chaz?
Yeah, well, I have heard that the rats around there are not to be fragged with.
I tell you what, I figured that out firsthand. That's why I spent 3 days in the hospital afterwards.
Ooh, that's nasty. I've heard those things are poisonous.
It definitely does leave you with a bad taste in your mouth, probably because of all the toxins in your bloodstream.
Ugh, don't eat those things, at least not with ketchup.
Well.
Anyway, what can I do for you?
I ran into an unpleasant fella that I was trying to see if I could figure out a little bit more information on, see if you'd heard of the guy before. His name's Canyon, maybe a rigger or smuggler local to the area.
Canyon, yeah, not a typical name. What's his connection rating?
He's got a connection rating of 5.
I definitely know of him, yeah.
All right, what can you tell me?
Well, he's another runner. He runs with a crew, general vicinity. Pretty professional, I suppose, and that's about all you get for free.
You wouldn't expect anything less. What'll 500 nuyen buy me there, Chaz?
Ooh, 500.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I'm
Fred,
there,
what
I
did he
need.
do to your mom?
He's let's just say it wasn't fun to watch.
Whew. Okay. Yeah, 500 nuyen will get you. Well, I guess everything I've got in him. So let's see where to start. Started operating in the area about 3 years ago. Came out of Seattle, it looks like. One of his crew, a guy by the name of Plasma, is a mage who, likes fire spells, go figure. And they've been pretty tight since the beginning. They picked up a couple others along the way. Yeah, done a few jobs. Doesn't look like they stuck to any particular company. Pretty busy. Generally have done pretty well. Most of their Johnsons are pretty happy, except for the ones who tried to frag them over. And he starts giving you a few details on some things. Let's see. Primary vehicle. Let's see. He owns a huge stallion that he purchased about a year ago, but it doesn't seem to run it for most of his vehicles. Other than that, looks like he's got a sports car, a Shenyang, and a Roadmaster. Probably a bunch of drones too, but let's see. Other support that he's got. Other people he runs with. There was one more.
Nothing about this guy's background. No, like maybe some groups he might be affiliated with, enemies he might have made.
Groups, not so much. Enemies, I mean, there's a bunch of gangs out down there that probably don't like him so much. There's some rumors that he's a human supremacist, but I'm not sure if that holds water. I mean, I haven't really seen anything to corroborate that, so
Yeah.
he might have just taken a few jobs for some groups that might have been tied with that, but I can't say whether he's affiliated or not, but you never know these days, right? So let me see. Last things here. I do have a contact number if you want to call him on his comlink.
Call him. Hell yeah, that's what I want to do.
Let's see. Yep. I've got a whole bunch of different runners up here. If you ever need anything done, I can hook you up with, finder's fees and all. But here's his contact information. I doubt this is his main phone. Probably a burner he uses for business, and I can't guarantee that he'll answer.
Sure.
But it should still be good. It's only a couple months old.
All right. Well, thanks, Chaz. You pulled through as usual.
I should mention, looks like he recently got hooked up with a Delta grade control rig.
Oh, Shrek.
Yeah, so,
This guy knows
Be
his
careful.
business. He's he doesn't sound like a pushover, is what you're saying.
He's definitely a veteran, and one of those more quiet veterans.
Well,
so to speak.
fortunately,
Doesn't go around bragging about his jobs and stuff.
fortunately, I know a pretty Nova hot rigger myself.
All right, that Skipper guy.
Yep.
He means you.
I heard some good things about him.
Yeah.
You,
He's pulled my hoop out of more than one, well, really just one bad situation.
yeah. Well, it's good to find good people. So it's good to know. I'll update my records and notes on things. And
Yeah.
sweet. Well,
You might say that he barely made it. He pulled me out of what could have been a nuclear grade catastrophe, you know?
Subtle.
nuclear grade, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole lot of that radiation stuff down in Chicago, down in the CZ. So you got to watch out for that.
You're not kidding. All right, thanks,
You know,
Chaz.
I've been told that Ares has said that all the bugs are dead, but I've been getting some intel here and there about things moving from time to time.
I
There
find
was
that
a
hard
really
to
big
believe.
stir. Yeah, well, believe what you're gonna believe, but just watch
I
yourself.
believe
out there,
what I
okay?
saw. You know, I was down there. I fought those bugs, and I eradicated every last goddamn one of them.
I'm sure you did. Thank you for your service. Good job.
You're welcome. Later, Chaz.
Glad we don't have to worry about those bugs anymore. You have a good one.
You too, Chaz. All right, guys, I got his number.
About
what?
that time, Skipper, you're getting a call from crap. What was your mechanic contact's name?
That was Jacob Kovar.
Okay, yep, Jacob's giving you a call.
All right. Hey, Jacob, what's going on?
Hey, Skipper, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Just finished up that run that you helped us out with. Thank you a lot for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, I hope you appreciate that. I mean, Drek, I'm just calling you because it's kind of related. You know how we fixed things up, and you said you'd help me out with something if I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you got going on?
calling that in. If you're not too busy, I guess. But
No, not on a job right now.
all right, so there's this guy I'm buying a car from. It's an old '57 Ford Americar. Nothing terribly special, except apparently most of it's intact. I've seen some of the footage that he's shown, and it all looks pretty good. But I don't want to go there. It's if I don't have to drive down there, maybe I can have somebody else do it. And things didn't go so well last time I went through the checkpoint with my truck, and they're probably gonna give me more direct this time. So, you know, you got a friendly face. I figure if I send you down there, you'll pick it up, bring it on back. Nothing goes wrong, right? You go across the wall all the time, right? You're a big shot Shadowrunner.
Yeah, I can bring that back for you.
You think that sounds fair? I mean, I'm not asking you to put up any of your own Nui, and you know, I got mine. I made all the deal. I just wanted you to go there, make sure it matches the specs, pay him the Nui, and if it does, drive it back on up here. I'll send you with the tow truck.
Sounds good to me.
Great, cool. So, do you want me to let the guy know you'll be down there this afternoon later?
This afternoon? Yeah, I can make that.
All right, cool. Here's his contact info. His name is Johnny. He's part of a gang, by the way, but they're pretty harmless. Just, you know.
It wouldn't happen to be the superhumans, would it?
What the super? No, I haven't heard of them. No, they're called the Weasels or something.
All right.
No, that's not it.
Fire
It's something like that, though.
All right. Well,
It's not the devil rats, is
Yeah.
it?
yeah, they're not the double rats. No, they haven't. We haven't crossed them lately, so I think we'll be all right.
Good. So, Everything running good? What was the name of your car?
Dom.
So everything good? Doing good for Dom? He's feeling all right? Much better?
Dom's doing great. Got a couple holes in the upholstery, but that was another issue with our mage.
Oh man, yeah. Those people just have no respect for technology.
Those people.
Yeah, you know, she's an old hunk of junk, but she's still working.
Hey, don't talk about Danen like that.
I was talking about Dom, but
All right. So yeah, here's the info. Here's the address and everything. It shouldn't be like a shady deal, but it's Chicago, so
yeah. You know, keep it a yellow alert. I got you.
yellow alert. I like that. And he hangs up.
Cool. All right.
Just to
am I in the
clarify,
same
you're
room?
supposed to swing by his place, probably pick up his tow truck and go drive it down to Chicago, pick up this car and bring it up. But also, like, probably verify the car is what it's supposed to, because it sounds like he just did all the dealing over online communication. So,
Yeah, sounds good. I'll swing on by there and grab his tow truck.
okay. Are you going to call anybody else? I think Rooster was just calling you to tell you about something else he just found out, too. So,
Oh, yeah. Right before I got that call. Rooster, you learned something.
Yeah.
I'm all about interrupting people with phone calls as a GM technique.
I got. Excuse me. Sorry. Just had a. Anyway. Canyon. I got his number. Literally.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, I have his comm number. And apparently
Shit.
he's part of a crew, a runner crew that runs around here, and they're pretty good.
All right, yeah. Well, how about we pass it off to Jin then and see what they can dig up.
Got it. I call Jin and give him the number and say, I don't know how you do what you do, but will this help?
What do you want me to do with this?
I want you to find out everything. Can you
trace where someone's at?
Can you hack his comm link or trace where he is or something?
Not with just a number. We'd have to get him on the line and keep him talking long enough for me to do the trace. Which shouldn't take very long, but...
Sounds like a job for Skip.
Can do that. I gotta go pick up a car. In the news later on today, we can make that call tonight or next day.
Sure.
All right. Speaking of, I gotta go pick up a car in the news. Do you want to go with?
Well, I'm not doing anything.
All right. Let's call up Danen. Maybe she can levitate us on out of there this time instead of going through the checkpoint. Hey, Danen.
Yeah?
You scared to go into the news yet?
Yeah?
Do you want to go with anyway? Gotta go pick up a truck. I'm taking the tow truck from Jacob.
Like we're friends?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just tagging along too.
Yeah, pick me up.
It's party
Rooster's
time.
coming. I'm definitely in. Should I call some spirits for backup?
Oh yes, I have to say, like, not dawn after your run, but the following evening after your run, there was sort of a long, tearful goodbye from your spirit. It's time for me to return. It's the sunset after the following sunrise.
And it sounded really poetic, but that's like literally what he was saying. Like, that's just the fact.
It's time for me to go home to the plane of air. If you ever have need of me again, you may call me.
All right, what do I call you?
Oh, you're trying to be tricky and get me to give you my true name. Well, not on the first date, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you for introducing me to so many things. There's so much mass here. He disappears.
All right. Until next time. I
You-
had a date.
You should have named him. You got to give him your own name.
Let's ask the chat. How about the chat names him?
Yeah. I'd say it's not gonna be his true name, obviously, but a referential
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
So
A
sort of-
shadowy air spirit name. What should we call him, guys?
Yeah. So I guess we're just riding along and hanging out.
Mhm.
It feels like a GTA mission that we're about to go on.
Right?
Yeah. So early afternoon, you swing by Jacob's place. He's got the tow truck all parked up there and ready to go for you. Tosses the control spike for it, or the keys. And all right, here's I'll transfer this file. Transfer this file over. Here's communications I made. I made sure to point out the specs that we went over. So if you wouldn't mind, just take a look over it, make sure it matches the details there, and I'm not getting some sort of bait and switch. And it should go pretty smooth.
Right. Sounds good.
Hey, if you encounter any gangers along the way that saying give us money or we'll shoot your truck, can you just give them some money and we'll settle up later?
Sounds fair.
I don't want any holes in this thing.
Shouldn't have brought Rooster along.
Hopefully you'll be able to make sure that doesn't happen. All right.
All right.
Given the last time I was out with these guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start summoning spirits. A lot of them.
Nice.
The wall of fire spirits around us as we're going through.
I've been dying for this, guys. So in 6e, you can summon multiple spirits at a time, up to with forces up to 3 times your magic rating. So
is
I
this
could theoretically?
Is this summoning like you're simultaneously summoning a bunch of spirits?
I don't. There's not bulk
one at a
rules for
time, I
summoning.
think.
You're still
Yeah, it's
doing one at a time. Okay.
But I could theoretically summon or conjure 18 level 1 spirits.
Nice.
Wow.
So I might do a big boy and then a bunch of little boys and girls.
All right, which one are you gonna do first?
Let's. I haven't experimented much with the higher level yet, and I know that their dice pool is double their force, and then I have to fight off whatever their hits are with drains. So let's see what a force 6 can do this time. That's what I'm gonna start with.
All right, so you're rolling your conjuring plus magic. There's no edge gaining thing in here unless you got a quality that would play into it.
Oh, right. So I'm actually gonna spend reagents at the same time as casting, which actually earns me a point of edge for every time I do that. But
Holy
that doesn't
shite!
really help me in this circumstance.
But
Yeah.
it just gives
So
you
that-
edge.
Yeah. If I spend reagents equal to the force of the spirit that I am summoning, but unfortunately, since we're not in an encounter, I kind of lose that edge right away. So maybe I'll order up Big Boy right now, and then maybe I'll order or conjure up the smaller ones later, so I can use that more.
All right,
Yeah.
with your 3 hits, you are barely successful. You have just 1 service pulled from this 4/6. What kind of spirit is it?
Let's do Spirit of Kin again.
Okay, yeah,
For
it's
4/6.
very resistant. There's this sort of strong kind of emotional back and forth as you finally pull it through, just barely, incredibly reluctant. And the spirit comes through and you just get this sort of exhale of a sigh of a thought that if it had a word it would be fine.
This is
Yeah.
a 4/6, so it's stronger, but about mid-range. We're gonna say that this is an represented in an adolescent. So
And,
I had my
cro-
small child. Now I have my adolescent.
and the adolescent is sitting there in astral space, tapping their foot, sort of arms crossed, sort of blowing up at the hair that's coming down over the eye.
Oh, this
And
feels like high school again.
it's there. It's kind of waiting for you, resenting being pulled away from whatever more important things it had going on.
Whatever.
Hi, I'm Danen. Let's hang out for a while, okay?
Is that the service? Do I get to go afterwards?
No. I'll let you know when we're good, okay?
Fine.
Oh, okay.
It hangs out nearby.
Happy
in
you're
Astral's
here.
face. It doesn't deign to respond.
Kill him
What's
with
your name?
kindness.
Can I call you Quail?
What? Why would you do that? That's stupid.
I don't know. The idea just came to me for some reason.
Man, you should.
Isn't that a bird or like
You
a
better.
guy?
You better just bind this
Spell
spirit.
potato.
But like you keep blowing your hair up like a quail has the little thing, and it's like
Bind that spirit, and when you do, tell him he's grounded.
Fine, you can call me Quail. I don't care.
okay,
I'm just
hi,
here
Quail.
for the one service anyway. Just
okay, all right.
Duggan's F wins. He says, "Oh
How
no,
long
it
till
smells like a
sunset?"
teen spirit."
yeah. Right.
Oh my
How
gosh,
long-
no.
How long till sunset? Oh crap! I've got to stay till like after sunset too. I hate they changed that.
That was awful. I'm
This is
so
gonna
angry.
suck.
You're gonna have
Maybe if you were old enough to
so
vote.
angry.
Okay, you got your 4/6 spirit.
All right. I need to. How many hits did you get? Because I need to.
Oh, you're looking at 2 drain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. No headaches.
All right, so you got your spirit. You conjuring any more, or is that?
No, I just got my edge that I can now lose.
Awesome.
Good job.
And no stainless steel devil rat. I did roll enough dice.
He just. He's channeling.
My
Jason
dice. Yeah, my dice apparently like Sarah, so they usually roll lots of higher numbers for other players, but
I have a high charisma. What can I say?
or it's just saving it up for something really good.
Like a pack of devil rats.
In Beta
Uh,
Cav, we've been talking about binding, but no, there is no binding.
There is no binding.
Oh, really?
Alright,
There's
so
no
you got
binding?
Nope.
Nope.
You can summon more spirits at once, but there's no binding.
I bet
for
that'll
them
come in
anymore.
a supplement.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Mm.
So I can
sure.
keep summoning an army.
All right, so you've got a spirit summon. The truck's driving down the highway, middle of the day, early afternoon, bright sun shining. Lots of other cars coming and going, and you get near the, you get down Chicago near the CZ. You have to pass on through the wall, and that goes much more smoothly with the towing license on there. Cops don't even look twice at that, and before long, you've a couple of miles in, you find your way to the address, and I guess probably fire off a text to Johnny, and he's waiting there with a couple other of his friends who are they're dressed in a. They don't look like so much gang colors. They're kind of like kind of dressed. I guess kind of raggedy. They all have these kind of big trench coat looking things. One of them is pushing along a shopping cart that's got a bunch of different odds and ends in it.
Rooster's got his armor jacket on, and he's walking out with. He's gonna get out behind Skipper or whatever has to be done, and kind of like keeping up close to him, taking like a bodyguard stance, sort of, and making his Ares Predator 6, like obviously visible, but not out. Like he's not like waving it around, but.
All right. Yep. Skipper will come on out. Just looking, try to be as friendly and approachable as I can. You know, like, hey, the name's Jefferson. Friends call me Skipper.
Oh, hey, Skipper. Nice to meet you.
You're not his
Johnny.
friend.
No, but I'm picking up for my friend Jacob. He's selling a Ford Americar. I'm supposed to check it out for him, and if everything's good, I'll pass you over the new yen. And
It's like,
take
yeah,
it
we
on
got
out
the
here.
car over here.
All right, yeah.
Walking it over and pops the hood for you, so you can start looking it over and checking it out.
Yeah, gonna make a kick the tires check.
There's some really weird music playing. It sounds like a crazy drunk guy ranting like weird canned elevator music.
Yeah, is this what the kids are listening to now?
Oh, hell no. This is classic stuff. They don't make music like this anymore.
Like Kenny G.
It's like old town Chicago deep history. And they all kind of like look and nod, and they're sort of like all like reacting in a way that's like, yeah, this is some sort of a group thing.
All right, cool.
And
Now, before-
as you're checking over the car, there's some like, yeah, you can hear the music. Some guy's ranting about vampire bats, and then something about vampire birds, and sucking the blood out of his ass. Like, what the hell? And they're just playing the music, and you look over the car. Give me an engineering plus logic test to check it over.
All right.
While you do that, just for show, before Skipper even gets a chance to take a look at it, Rooster puts his hand up and says, "Skipper, let me take care of this first. You never know what could happen." And
Sure.
Rooster looks it over. You know, he thinks he's really looking for like booby traps or explosives, but he doesn't know really anything about that. But he believes that that's what he's doing, and he's doing a good job at it.
All right. Do you have a skill that you would use in this?
Perception, maybe?
Okay. Yeah. Give me a perception test.
I got 2 hits.
2 hits, you look it over, and there doesn't seem to be anything that looks terribly out of place. I mean, it's an older vehicle. There's not much signs of rust because there's not much, ferrous metal on the thing to begin with. But
Yeah.
there's definitely signs of like corrosion and wear and going through
Yeah.
Chicago winters, and stuff's been replaced here and there. But there's nothing that stands out as being like this shiny new thing that somebody stuck on there that might be a
Yeah.
bomb or whatever.
Yeah, he's,
so,
like, putting his hands up underneath the car and feeling around and checking things, and he comes back over and he's got his hands in the sides of his armor vest or whatever, and he says, all right, Skipper, coast is clear. You can go ahead.
All right, thanks. I'm gonna kind of just shrug to these guys. Like, I know what you're doing and I respect it, but I want them to think you're being overcautious
Right.
for friendliness' sake.
yeah, they just seem to be like just casually hanging out, and they give you a nod and.
All right, yeah, and I'm gonna go through. I got 3 hits on my roll.
All right, looking things over, pretty thoroughly, but checking it out, you've got some like images to check up against and different stuff you're supposed to specifically like run over, and you run a couple of quick tests with some doohickeys in your kit, and it seems to check out. The car does start okay. It runs a little rough, but that's probably to be expected with an older engine, and you're not meant to drive it back anyway. You're supposed to tow it back up. It seems like everything looks good. You're supposed to give him the cred stick based on what Jacob said based on this. So are you going to pass it along and get the car?
Yeah, go ahead and pass it along.
All right. Good. So Skipper, right? I don't think I've seen you around. Do you around Chicago much? You come and go in this area?
Yeah, usually I'm closer to Milwaukee, but I've been getting down to the Noose lately.
Oh, the Noose, man, that's a pretty scary dreck down there. You want to be careful. There's been a lot of nasty stuff going on down there. Just because the bugs are gone doesn't mean it's safe.
Do we look like the kind of people who scare easily?
So you should have told Rooster that maybe a week ago. The guy got bit by 6 venomous devil rats.
And I'm alive. And I
Still walking.
Oh,
I
I'm
show
standing
him-
in the back, kind
I
of
show
looking
him the
terrified
scars.
by everything.
And the
Guys
s-
toward
and
the
the
back
stitches.
says, "Devil rats aren't venomous, you dumbass."
You want to tell me that to my face?
I think I just did.
Oh
And he
my.
like steps up and struts a bit. And
There were
Yeah,
about
yeah.
5 devil rats on top of me, scratching the frag out of my chest and face. And you see the veins here coming out? You see the green right there? That's venom was in there.
a couple of them are like looking and pointing, and then the song changes and then like all stop, like oh, like it's like they start like chanting along with the music and like shaking their fists, and they're repeating things like rock and roll. It's like rock and roll McDougal's. No, it's something else, not McDougal's. Anyway, yeah, you end up like hook up the car, and they're like waving out. It's nice to meet you all. If you guys need anything else, I mean, we do a lot of stuff around here. Just you guys need any help? You just you can always give the Wesleys a call.
What?
Wesley's. I'll remember that.
All right, yeah, and one of them yells. One of them holds up their hands and says, rock over London." Another one holds up their
Rock over
hands and says,
Chicago.
rock over Chicago. Another one yells out, "Nerps, breakfast of champions."
That's a deep cut, Cliff.
I'm not sure if anyone's likely to catch those references.
I got it. I got you.
Someone on YouTube will, probably. All right, so you picked up the car, you're just starting to head out. That's about that time you get a call from Big Dave.
Hey Dave, what's the news?
Hey, been doing some digging, found out some info for you. Not something I want to talk about in person, Have you been digging anything up on it?
Yeah, we got a couple contacts looking up this guy. Found out he's a smuggler. And Rooster, what'd you find from him?
We just giving this information away for free now?
Well, this is our fixer.
So he's gonna pay us money to do something then?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Isn't that right, Big Dave?
What? No, remember you dropped this pile of dreck like right in my lap because you didn't want to keep it to yourself for whatever reason, and now it's my problem too? I
Yeah.
thought that's where we were on this.
Right, so I did
We're all
you a
sort of looking
favor.
at what we can, so
So I've done you a favor and gotten some information, I'm just saying.
yeah, well, I've got some information too. Maybe we should, share that, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fair. What do you got?
So I got info on the thing, like technical specifications, like yield, that sort of thing. You ever hear of a little town in Japan called Hiroshima?
I think so. I learned
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, well, they blew it up with one of these things. It was like the first time they ever used it on people. Well, that in a place called Nagasaki. Whatever. It's it's about that size. But not actual like the destruction, if it works.
Right.
And they're supposed to be pretty foolproof, but a lot of them didn't go off like they were supposed to, I guess. So other than that, though, yeah, I haven't got much info on the guy because he apparently covers his tracks pretty well, and people I talk to haven't heard of him much.
Yeah, well, we're working an angle. I think we got some good information on it. We're gonna get some good information on it.
Okay, one more thing. These objects, they don't work by themselves. There's another piece, like a physical encoded encryption key thing.
All right.
It's kind of low tech compared to our current matrix tech, but the maths involved, I'm told, are complicated enough to where it would still be impossible to fabricate. And if you screw it up, you end up basically bricking the thing. So they probably want one. Unless they have that, they probably can't make it go boom. So we're okay, right? I mean, if
Unless
we want
they
to be
get it.
thorough, right? So, yeah. Here's the thing: these keys are probably like long gone or like somewhere else, and they probably weren't with the things. Like they were careful with this kind of Drek. I mean, even though they're Aries, right? So I guess what I'm saying is there's a good chance if they have one, they probably don't have the other right away. But the vibe I get from this Canyon guy is he's the kind of person who's gonna find the kind of Drek that he needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just got to find this key before he does.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then
So
we can
it's-
blow it up.
I don't know where it would be, but it's an Aries thing through and through.
Mhm.
Do we have a serial number or something with these with the suitcase? Maybe we can.
Yeah, that was on the
Track
picture
down.
you showed me.
Yeah, maybe we can go and reverse engineer. Rooster, you've got some friends there at Ares, I hope.
Well, maybe not anymore, but
Yeah, the problem about asking that question is that, you know, you got to ask the question of someone who
Yeah.
will then wonder things about why you're asking that question. And that's the kind of thing I'm desperately trying to avoid because I want to die old and decrepit in a bed somewhere and not by being shot by Ares people.
All right. Do we know what this encoder looks like?
Well, it fits into this little slot here. He points to a spot on the picture, or pulls up a spot on the picture. So it's going to have that general shape on the part that sticks in. It should look vaguely key-like. You have to
Alright.
stick it in and like turn it and press a button.
Okay, so we're just looking for a key, probably somewhere in, well, somewhere in anywhere in Chicago, the whole sprawl.
Yeah,
So-
I'm relieved. I'm feeling better already. This seems less and less likely to be a problem. Right?
That's certainly an optimistic take.
Yeah, that's me, optimistic. So,
I think if we end up following Canyon, keep an eye on him. And as soon as he gets the key, we'll know. We can act accordingly. Because if he's going to do that, he seems to be a professional guy. It's not going to be a like look and see what I can do. I'm just going to use this. It's going to be more of I'm going to hold this ransom. I'm going to sell this to someone. I'm going to do something else with this, and that should give us enough time to track him down.
yeah, I hope so. So, you know, your friend was asking about like money for doing things, and I was wondering, is this something that's going to take up all of your time, or are you up for doing some stuff for New Yen?
Hey, could always use a little more Nuyen.
Yep.
Good. Well, I've got an opportunity for you to make some then, if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Why don't you meet me at? And he, I guess, picks a restaurant near the CZ after going back and forth for where you guys are at. It's not too far from where you are now. You just have to get out of the enclosed area without the police bothering you, which you find is pretty easy when you're driving a tow truck. They just sort of wave you on past, and
Yeah.
the tow truck company's info blips, and you make a little stop to meet up with Big Dave as you're taking the car back.
Man, sometimes it makes me think I should go legit one of these days. Getting through gates that easy?
You're living a dream.
Alright, we'll pull up to wherever Big Dave's got us.
Yeah, it's a small like sit down restaurant. You find Big Dave's hanging out in front. with Lola and Bebop, and he greets you as you're walking up. And just instead of walking into the restaurant, kind of walks up to approach you guys. Seems like he's looking to do this shindig in the parking lot.
All right.
Good to see you. Good to see you all. Feeling a bit rested up and recovered from your previous ordeals.
Well, I'm certainly feeling well rested.
Good, good. Well, hey, I've got some work for you. He looks around and gives Jin a nod, who nods back. Because we're pretending he's here too. All right. So this one's more of a missing persons kind of situation. And
right.
the reason why the missing person is being paid for to be found is because they're missing because they owe people some new yen.
Classic problem.
Classic.
Yep. The person's name is Matador, and they're kind of a gunslinger biker sort. Have a bit of a beetle habit, as in a habit of like making beetle deals and not following through on them. So this isn't like a chiphead kind of thing. This is more of a double crossing other people and doing their own stuff. So it's finally catching up to him, and someone's paying some money to hire some Shadowrunners to go get him. Problem is he's in the CZ and relatively untouchable, and for the creditors won't necessarily go over there, and the regular PIs won't, and some of the cheaper runners won't because the turf is it's in the turf of a gang called the Fleshmongers.
Jesus H.
Anybody have any Chicago knowledge?
Yeah.
Related into gangs?
Chicago area.
Yeah. So they're gangers who work with and for, and some of their members are ghouls, and they basically grab whoever's vulnerable and sell off their parts to either ghouls for food or like black market chop shops for parts.
So they're kind of the local Taminus.
Yeah, they do business with Taminus, but they're less socially acceptable than Taminus, if that gives you an idea.
Okay.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, like the people who from Taminus feel dirty after doing business with the Fleshmongers. So
Jesus Christ. So the Fleshmongers. So this fragger took a wrong turn down a really nasty alley, and now he's caught up with some dirty business, and you want him back because he owes you some money.
Well, not personally, right? I just facilitate these things.
Sure. No, I
have no personal stake in the matter. I don't mean to. Right. So he lives in the CZ, and he's staying well within their turf. There's a very good chance he's got some sort of deal going on. They're gonna try to frag with anybody who gets on their turf. So I need somebody to go in there.
So he hasn't
get him.
He's just on their turf. He hasn't been like abducted by these fellas.
No. He's not like one of their marks.
Right. Okay.
Victims. That's a good word for it. He's not one of their victims. And he's not one of their members, but there's still going to be a complication because they're not very friendly. I mean, if you can smooth things over and talk to them, or I don't know, however you want to handle it's up to you. Shoot some Fleshmongers, sneak past the Fleshmongers, talk your way past them. I mean, they're creepy, nasty, freaky people. They're not like you can't like deal with them like they're normal metahumans.
I don't plan on it. Don't worry.
Good. So, yeah, I understand this is going to be a little bit of a tough job. I mean, if this guy sees you coming, has a chance to react, he's going to be hard to follow. He's going to make a stink of a noise, and you're going to have a shitstorm on your hands. So,
don't worry, we got the best ghost damn stealth mage in this side of the CZ.
Good to hear. But they got ghouls and stuff, and those things can smell magic or something, right?
Well, they won't be able to smell without a head. And I pull my gun out.
Right, so that brings me to my next question. Is this a dead or alive situation?
Definitely alive. I mean, if he gets killed in the process, no, the contract definitely says alive. Never mind. Just forget that. Okay, yeah, there's a clause for dead, but it's a lot less money, and I get a percentage on this, so
Gotcha.
let's just not take that option, okay?
Fair.
I don't care how many fleshmongers take a dirt nap after this, but yeah, your target, bring him back alive. Not necessarily all in one piece or in the most fantastic condition, but, you know, in at least enough in condition to be, you know, made to answer questions and whatnot. So that's where the big bucks are. And speaking of big bucks, you do this, everything goes well, you're all going to be 10,000 yen richer, each of you.
Well, I like the sound of that.
Each. Yeah.
That's a lot.
All right, sure enough. Well, we're going to be going in and out of CZ, which means a couple of us need some new fake sins, which anything that's going to be good enough to get us back out of there is going to be about 10 grand for that. Got a little bit of savings. What do you say we get a little bit of money up front in order to get us some good fake sins? We can get in, get out. Let's see.
I lean over. You're really smart.
Well, then I'm going to roll influence and see what I can get for payment up front here. That's 11 dice. 4 hits.
I was going to go in the edge stuff that would have played in quality-wise.
Oh, no. I just got first impression, which is going to apply to him.
All right, yeah, and I can't think of anything that would situationally net an edge point one way or another, so. Yeah, with your 4 hits, he's initially like, what? That's like twice what I offered for the last job. I thought she'd be excited about this. He starts working on it like up front. I mean, all right, yeah, I suppose we could work something out. So, I guess you can either like talk him up to 5,000 more new yen total, or you can get twice that total as an advance. So more money later, or some money now. Same amount, but you get some now.
I think we're gonna have to go with some money now, because Danen, you've only got a rating 2 fake sin right now, right?
I've got a rating nothing.
A rating nothing. Yeah, we need
A rating
to get
burned.
you a fake sin.
Yep. Like, all right.
I could just sneak in again.
I don't want to make that a regular occurrence. Too much of a chance to get caught.
All right, so 25% up front, the rest upon delivery, and you guys better come through for me, because I'm going to want this 10 grand back if, you know, things don't turn out, right?
Come on, when have we ever failed you?
Well, it's first time for everything, but let's not cross that bridge when we come to it, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, no, we're good.
What's this guy's name that we're looking for?
Matador.
Matador, yes. It's Matador. He's a human. Again, likes to ride a bike. Pretty badass, I guess, so be careful. So we don't know exactly where he lives, but I was able to pick up, you know, as far as the intel package I've got, puts him probably in this building, and he pulls up a little overhead map, like Google Maps kind of thing, where you can see the like the satellite imagery. And there's some sort of a husk of a ruin there. Like, it looks like a bunch of rubble, generally, the vicinity does. And like from the top down, like most of the buildings don't look like buildings anymore so much. So He's been seen coming and going from that one, parks his bike somewhere over here, and basically is able to point out this rundown building amidst a bunch of other rundown buildings, which is in Fleshmonger's turf. And so you've got a target location, potentially where to go to.
We have an image of this guy.
Yep, he's able to provide you with some images so you'll be able to recognize him. No way to communicate any sort of astral impression, but you get all that intel. And says, yeah, as far as we know, he's been sticking around here like the last week or so. He's been kind of coming and going and staying within this turf. He knows like there's some people who want to get to him, right? So he's staying where he feels safe.
Yeah.
Good God, I can't imagine the smell there. I hope you guys have gas masks or something.
You know, I actually do.
I
Think it'll
don't.
I think it'll prove quite useful.
Thanks for the concern, Big Dave. We're gonna get this taken care of for you.
All right, Lola, we got enough to cover the advance on us? And she sort of nods and takes out her comlink and slots a cred stick and loads it up with 10,000 new yen. Passes it over to Bebop, who passes it over to Big Dave, who then passes it over to Skipper.
All right. We'll be in touch once we finish the job.
Good. So, time limit on this, not extremely pressing, except that he might wander off somewhere and it would make him harder to find. So, I'll leave that up to you.
Sounds good. We should be able to get him in the next day or two.
Sounds great. Good. I like you guys. You're fast, efficient, get the job done. Apparently, you heal pretty quick, just as over at Rooster.
Hey, what can I say?
Good. Keep running like this, and you'll go places.
Thanks, Big Dave.
And Big Dave heads off with his 2 bodyguards, and I think that's where we'll end the session tonight.
All right.
So excited to get those teeth out.
Man, this was a fun one tonight.
Yeah. Gives you some of the downtime stuff.
I
Uncover
kinda
some
wanted-
more of the bigger plot.
I had to write down Quail the adolescent spirit for next game.
Yeah, we got to do some of the healing stuff. Healing seems to be pretty simple and work the same way. It sounds like the big changes about healing in 6th edition are just that it's a little bit more, the order doesn't matter, and it feels like you can technically do it like with the first aid and the medkit stuff. It feels like you can technically do it more often, I think. Is that true, or am I just...
I think it's still per hour and per day. Per hour for stun, per day for physical. But I know there's a bigger emphasis on getting you back in the fight quicker.
Yeah.
The more often is that you can do a first aid test within a few minutes to heal boxes with biotech, and then you can do a med kit test within, I think, an hour to heal up some boxes, and then you can do long-term healing or heal spell.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be in a specific order, other than
Right.
some things have shorter time limits than others. So there is that separate. There's a first aid and a second aid and a magic aid.
Yeah. And you could just do them back to back to back.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. And in any order you wanted, as long as you were within a minute, because the first aid is got that minute time limit on it. So that's easy. A lot of the downtime stuff feels easy and the same. I did notice, by the way, I was buying some ammo, and I kind of like how they've done ammo. They've made it a little bit simpler with cost-wise. It's just a little chart. The way it works is your ammo type has a base price based on the type of weapon that you use. For example, I was buying ammo for my rifle, which is 20 new yen for 10 rounds of ammo. And then and it's just ammo, right, for a rifle. And if you want to get a different kind of type of ammo, there's a cost multiplier. And so it's just, you don't have to like track down the ammo and look at the price and all this kind of stuff. It's just on one little chart that tells you, here's your base price. multiply that by X if you're getting, like Stick and Shock has a multiply it by 2 for Stick and Shock ammo, stuff like that. So simplifies that a little bit.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I felt like, again, I'm getting more and more used to how spellcasting and summoning works, and the reagents could be cool, but again, like, my battle goal has to be summoning at that point, so in order to get and spend that edge.
Yeah, like you could, it feels like to me a good strategy for a mage might be, really summoning low force spirits and using reagents on it just to get edge. Maybe that feels a little cheesing, but like that's a way to do it, especially since a concern you've had,
I think
Sarah,
it could be more like a combat summoner is what I'm thinking.
I think if a mage were to do like, I'm gonna summon a bunch of Force 1 spirits and use a bunch of edge to like refill my edge to use later, I think that's where like the rules would say, where the rules say the GM should like, watch for this kind of stuff and not allow people to abuse edge. I think that's where that would play into edge abuse.
Yeah.
To some degree. Like,
yeah. But then our concern has always been with the type of mage that Sarah is playing. It seems to be difficult to gain edge to begin with. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in hindsight, like if I wanted to play with more edge, I probably would have needed to build my character with a larger edge attribute.
Fair, yeah.
I think the general rule of thumb for edge is if you're doing a thing just to gain edge, then you probably shouldn't gain the edge for it.
Right.
Like if gaining the edge is the purpose of like that action, whether it's like using reagents or like, walking up to a random person on the street and pointing your gun at them. Yeah.
But it'd be fun to get the edge to play with more, and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know. I think it's a balance, and I think that I hope that there's more that you can do with that in additional books.
Yeah, but then
I think
wasn't
generally expect.
Sorry, wasn't the reagents? Didn't you say that that's all they do for you is give you edge? Or did I misunderstand that?
For summoning, yes. So I can spend reagents up to the force of the spirit I'm summoning to gain an edge. But then edge rules are also that at the end of whatever encounter you're in, any edge above your edge attribute disappears. So if I had spent edge earlier in the session, then it would be valuable, but...
Yeah, but it's mainly meant for you to... I think the idea is that you're mainly meant to spend the edge there on the spirit summoning test. But the thing is, you don't have to. Much like you get an edge point for someone shooting at you because you have high armor and they've got a low attack rating. You're kind of maybe meant to spend the edge to not die in the combat, but you could spend the edge later on when you're ordering a pizza to get a free anchovies or something.
Yeah.
Well, and even with Drain, like it takes 3 edge to earn 1 box of stun back. So it's kind of like I can spend my entire pool on 1 box of stun, and then and then I'm just summoning more and risking more stuns. So it's like, I don't know.
Part of me feels like I love how edge. I've talked about how I like how edge works. It feels really good. I don't play a mage, so I can't speak to that. But with the combat focus character that I have, it feels really good. But part of me thinks that I feel like edge would. I wonder if I would like it more. It's like I want it to be that edge refreshes not at the beginning of the session, but at the beginning of the encounter.
That's the way I read it, like initially when I was first reading the books.
Yeah. And that's because it feels like to me like edge is supposed to be this thing that represents, again, your accumulated advantage over an opponent in some sort of a confrontation, right? Being able to stack those advantages and gain edge in an encounter and then carry it on to the future, hours or days later doesn't feel like it's part of the spirit of the edge system, but that is what you get to do. If you use all your edge in a combat encounter and then I, get higher ground and do some other things in it, and then I build up this edge and then I don't use it, then I get to keep it up to my edge attribute and spend it whenever I want to later.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if anyone else kind of thinks the same way, but like if you get some really good fortune in life, like you get a pay raise or something like that, at least my first thought is something bad's about to happen. And I kind of see the way using edge like that, it's almost like an inverse, or playing with the mechanic that's kind of like that.
The karmic balance sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think, but though, that if it were, this is, by the way, people listening, this is, we're entirely in the talking about a rule that is not the case. Like the way edge works is it refreshes at the beginning of the session, and then it goes up and down based on how you gain it throughout the session, and it doesn't refresh at the beginning of an encounter. But I'm saying I think I would like it better if it refreshed at the beginning of an encounter, because of just I think it would, like with mages, you wouldn't have as much of a problem, right? Like combat starts, you get your edge pool refreshed, and it would, I think, come and go a lot more quickly. I don't know, to encourage more use of it. By the way, before Austin gets to jump in and say something, we just got rated by Manapot Studios. So hey guys, we're
Hey, welcome.
We're hanging out and doing some stuff with 6th edition Shadowrun, which we just finished the session, and it's not out yet, but we've been previewing it. So Austin, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I feel like that might end up being a popular house rule. Like, there's gonna, like, when more people are playing 6th edition, it's gonna be, I don't know, I'm not gonna guess what the split's gonna be, but I guess there's gonna be a faction that does choose to play it that way, where you get edge every encounter, and there's gonna be the faction that plays as written, where you get it per session.
Right.
And I think it's just, if you get it per encounter, it's just going to allow more of a Pink Mohawk style gameplay, where you can do more ridiculous stuff.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's my play style, so maybe that's where I'm coming from. Like, I prefer, I lean more Pink Mohawk than not. So maybe that's, that's why I feel that way. So, we missed Opti tonight, so we didn't get to flex a lot of decking rules, but he. By all accounts, he's liking
last
it.
Session.
He's liking it, yeah. He got to do a lot of that last session. So.
Opti will be at Origins, as will I as well. So if you see us, say hi.
Yeah, anybody who's going to be at Origins. Me and Mr. Johnson and Austin will not.
Yeah, I was saying it was the first Origins I will be missing since after I started the Arcology podcast.
How long ago did you start the Arcology podcast, Mr. Johnson?
It's either 5 or 6 years. I'm old now, so I can't remember years as well.
We were just talking about that in Shadowcasters text chatting, that Mr. Johnson and Opti are now the old farts of the Shadowrun content creators.
Yeah, that used to be Steven and Tim.
Yep. And I think am I still considered a young upstart, or is that some of these like Palmer who's making new stuff?
I think you're beyond upstart quality, but not quite into old guy territory yet.
Right. Yeah, you guys have a couple of years on me. I think like maybe a year and a half or 2 years on me is when I came into the picture. But anyway, enough reminiscing about stuff that nobody cares about. I want to remind everybody who's watching that we have a summer fundraiser that we do every year, and we're in the middle of it right now, like smack dab in the middle of it. I think we have something like, it ends on, I think technically the official end is June 25th, but spiritually it ends on June 23rd. When the Streamathon ends. So we mention the Streamathon all the time, but I don't think I spend enough time telling everybody exactly what the Streamathon is. I think I unfortunately accidentally just assume that everybody knows, because we do one every summer, but every year during our fundraiser that we do in the summer to keep this Shadowcasters network going. We have a 36-hour streamathon that we use. It's just like a telethon. That's why we call it that. You know, the idea is that we're pushing a bunch of content out to you guys, all for the purpose of entertaining you and raising money for our fundraiser right at the end there. And the streamathon is sort of the last push that we do for fundraising. And we stream for 36 hours straight. Lots of different shows and lots of different stuff. I usually do probably about 20 to 25 hours of it because I'm insane. But most of us, like Mr. Johnson and Oz and Opti, we do plenty of it. Sarah's going to be there for I think we've managed to talk her into like streaming for something crazy like 12 hours straight for the first or
I think I'm at 8.5. I think I go from 6 p.m. Friday to 2:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's no insignificant chunk of time for sure.
It's gonna be so fun. I can't wait.
There's
like no sleep and gaming for 8+ hours. Like
3 shows in a row.
Days.
3 shows in a row.
That's gonna be a third streamathon, right?
This is our 3rd streamathon in a row. That's absolutely right.
And they've always been a lot of fun. There's lots of great energy, and our audience loves it. We do all sorts of fun gaming.
Yeah, so if you...
I just can't wait, because Bobby asked me to play in Paranoia, and I was like, well, I've never played in Paranoia. He's like, good, you're the perfect person to play for Paranoia. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, I love Paranoia.
Let's do it.
Paranoia, literally, Sarah, I know I said, and you might have taken it as a joke when we were chatting, but literally in the rulebook, it says that you can, it implies that you can be penalized for knowing the rules. So,
I'm already winning.
Yeah, exactly. Paranoia is so good. It's such a good game, and it's such a good game to jump in without knowing much about it because you're not supposed to know, and it's all the better if you've never played it before. So,
awesome. I can't wait.
We're excited for you to do it. We're going to be doing stuff like that. There's also going to be the 2 Optiverse episodes that we're going to be doing. Once Upon a Tabletop, we're going to be playing it. I guess we're turning it into a tradition, Once Upon a Tabletop, where we role play tabletop board games on the stream, and we're making a tradition where we take some kind of classic like Mattel style game or something and play it when so we're going to be doing Clue this year. Last year we did the Game of Life, and this year we're going to be doing Clue. So that's going to be super fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Do we have Chris joining us for that again this year?
Who do we have for that? I don't know. I don't have it.
I'm doing Clue.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the last chunk of time that we have Sarah for. Is Clue. So.
For now, it's 2 weeks away. I'm still waiting for like someone else to fall through, and you guys be like, so.
So we need you for something else. No, we're gonna have lots of fun. So I just popped a link into the chat room for the fundraiser. You can go on there. There's lots of things that you can do to help us out. We provide little perks that you can buy. One of them is signed character sheets. You just watched a whole Shadowrun 6th edition game. Well, what we're all gonna do, the core Shadowcasters founders, us, Mr. Johnson, myself, Opti, Oz, and I think Damien as well, we're all going to make ourselves as Shadowrunners using the Shadowrun 6th edition character creation rules. And what we're going to do is we're going to print those out on nice little character sheets on resume paper with a little GM screen style illustrated images of ourselves that I'm gonna draw, and then we're all gonna sign them at Gen Con when we meet up at Gen Con, and then we're gonna send them all to anybody who gets those. And those are only $10, so get some of those. It's just a nice little thing, a nice little keepsake, but they are gonna be playable. Like, they'll be viable characters. There's all sorts of things you can do though. Game with Shadowcasters is for a $50 donation, and you can have a private night of gaming with the Shadowcasters. So that's something we super enjoy every year. We lost Austin for a second. I wonder if he'll be right back. So that's why the cameras look all funny for a moment. But anyway, get on there, check out that link. We are looking to raise $4,000. That's how much we need to keep us going for another year. So help us out with that. If we can get all of that in by the time the Streamathon starts on June 21st at 4 p.m. that Mr. Johnson is going to release the Pirates campaign that he did that is right now only available to patrons of the Arcology podcast. He's going to make it available to everyone for free as long as we get to 4,000. Meet our goal. And you might be wondering, well, if you meet the goal, then what are you going to push for at the Streamathon? We have stretch goals, guys. We have all sorts of stretch goals. One of the stretch goals is to start a monthly Shadowcasters Network community talk show where we have giveaways that we would do monthly on the stream, all sorts of stuff like that. We'd have maybe interviews or guests from the industry, stuff like that. But basically a community talk show we'd do every month, and all sorts of stuff. A big stretch goal is to have Prism Shard or Mr. Johnson here produce a 3-track cyberpunk EP for your RPG games, that you guys would actually get to help us brainstorm what the tracks would be like for him to make. So that's what
someone asked if it would be piracy to publish the pirate campaign without being a Patreon, and then I say technically yes, that would be piracy. It would be a violation of the license agreement, but I don't send lawyers after people, so I guess do it if you want to. I won't complain. More people listen to the show. I mean, I'd prefer that you pay for it or whatever, but I'm also if I were to be a D&D character, like the lawful spectrum of my alignment, well, it's on the chaotic side.
For sure.
I just want to shout out to Mr. Johnson as well, because Prism Shard is writing the music for Chicago Shadows trailer. So, and he wrote a piece for one of our intro videos as well. And it's super cool. So I can't wait for you guys to all hear that. Thank you so much for producing that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Some of the music you listen to tonight, our soundtrack for this show is Prism Shard. In fact, I just started playing one. Here's one. It's called Hack Job. Let me turn that off and turn this on. There you go. Here's one. He does a lot of really good, I'm talking about him like he's not here. He does a lot of good, I love the music, so. Anyway, do that, help us out, please. We need to keep ourselves going for another year because we love doing this and we love doing it for you guys. Anybody got anything else they want to say? Wow.
We got a new Crit Squad episode coming out tomorrow before noon Pacific time, so that's probably going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time. Very excited the direction that the season's taking as we start to wrap things up and tie all the loose ends together.
Nice.
For those who are going to Origins, I'll be running the Shadowrun game room in the morning, so you can come by and say hi. And we're also going to be having an email sign-up sheet to get our mailing list together. And if you sign up, you get entered in a raffle to win a piece of art that is our Chicago Shadows new Chicago skyline. It's really pretty if you go to the Facebook page. So
you'll be running the room.
I'm room captain.
Nice.
For the mornings, I think it's like 7 to noon or something every day.
Excellent.
And then our next episode of this is June 20th after Origins, right?
Yes, thank you for doing my job there, Austin. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're not going to be on next week. Normally we do the show every other week. We did it 2 in a row because we needed to compensate for the fact that our scheduled time was going to be right in the middle of Origins. So, and some of us are going to be there. So yes, 2 weeks from today, June 20th will be our next one. It'll be the day before the Streamathon. So it'll be, I'll expect everybody here helping us get to that $4,000 goal before the Streamathon starts, right? Right? Yes.
I just shared screen too. Here's the art that is going to be up for the sign-up sheet.
Ooh, nice.
Very, very cool.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I don't have anything else. So.
Cool. Thank you guys. It was fun.
Yes, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the 20th.
Yeah,
or at Origins for some of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and bye-bye, and see you later, chummers. We'll see ya.